overdue for an interview. Peter, your last thoughts? You siding with evil geniuses here? You think that the last pick from Secret just wasn't good enough?
It's close to call. I do think that Void is a little bit lackluster. I would say if S4 can get off some good ravages, I think they can get this game.
I think they got the counter initiation, but who stands up front for Secret? I think EG is going to have easy targets to pick off at the start of fights with Sven.
All right, well, Evil Geniuses versus Team Secret. Bulba's ready to go. Give us a little information on what happened in the draft, and into game 2 we go.
All right, Bulba, how do you feel about this draft?
I think it's pretty even. They have a lot of their comfort heroes. They're trying out some new stuff. I haven't seen Nisha play Void yet. And yeah, I mean, it's just going to come down to, it's probably going to go super late game, as most Secret games do. And yeah, we just have whoever team fights better, caster spells better wins.
Historically, you guys have not typically played very well against Secret, but you did great in the last game. Do you believe that that's kind of the beginning of a new momentum between the two teams?
Hopefully. I mean, it always feels good to win the first game, but they're really strong. They've been like strong all year. We've had a few series where we've won a game versus them, but they close it out. So ideally, you know, this is a different story.
Well, good luck, Bulba. Thanks for chatting with us. Back to you guys.
Thank you so much, Casey. And yes, Bulba says, cast your spells better, team fight better, play Dota better.
It's so simple.
That
really
goes for you guys out there as well. But Trent, game number 2 on the line in this amazing series.
Yeah, they go for the Void at
crazy.
the end. I mean, degrees of separation between Puppey and Cinderin. All right, we got Puppey to Yapzor, Yapzor to Cinderin, and Cinderin, of course, the famous double bubble strats.
Oh,
right. It's only a 2 degrees number. Personally, I'd want to be several more numbers away from Cinderin's strategies, but Secret are going to opt for it. They've got the black hole. They've got the chronosphere, and that carried him through an entire season of Dota. Can it get Secret a win here?
we'll have to see, wait and see. And, well, speaking of seeing, Secret spotted EG running through their jungle, trying to find a pickoff, was not able to get it. And that does mean that Niche will be playing very safe and sound back behind that tower, not wanting to reveal himself in the least bit. So early movements out, we're seeing a couple of interesting switch-ups. Mid one playing on the Invoker, actually taking Quas first. So usually we see Exorts picking up early
Arteezy and Yapzor are just saying hello down here.
Oh, hi guys.
Any high fives? Oh, we're gonna dig. All right. Oh, what do you get? Old pair of shoes. Condolences, Yapzor. Give him a high five and yeah, just say, yeah, you know those bounty runes ours, right?
Yeah.
Shove off.
You're not coming here.
Go kick rocks, I believe.
That's the expression, definitely. So EG picking up 2 of those bounty runes, Crit able to get the better end of Nisha there, and already lean on the damage along with the Gush, forcing out that time walk back. But we can see the drums are pounding and heroes moving out to their respective lanes. Zai already starting off with that Reconcilius, as Yapzor is going to do one of the classics that we've seen often, blocking off the opponent creep wave, so that way his creep wave will meet underneath that tower.
Yeah, he's got the old mystery build. He actually is just straight up TP home as well. And it doesn't cost Fly all that much in terms of resources, right? Just some Shadow Poisons. And that does give Yapzor his boots, though, so he'll run back a little bit faster.
Alrighty, alrighty.
So you finish that last game as Sumail. You get through the first bans, and Leshrak's still there. I'm taking it. I mean, I definitely agree with what EG's done, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. He looked fabulous on it, and already playing off against mid one on the Invoker, has taken that Quas early and using this Cold Snap just to try and harass and mess up Sumail's last hitting potential. Does mean that he has a little bit less of the base damage, misses on that one, and only 1 and 1 so far in comparison to the 3 and 2.
It's a good luck thing for Sumail. I think he intentionally misses the first 2, like last game, and then things will turn around for him, right?
Makes sense, makes sense.
You got Yapzor level 1 even rotating through here. Can't find himself the Courier as it's walking back, but he can still try and harass Sumail, but look at that positioning.
Yeah.
He is way far away thanks to the Observer.
Yeah, knowing that that's the only angle that Yapzor could come in to try and make a play, and so just hides off to the side in a position where he won't get caught out. And simultaneously, you can see up top.
Well, there's also an Observer right down where he just went again.
Oh.
So now Yapzor having some trouble trying to make an impact here. Of course, he's still forcing some movements and stuff here, and perhaps can guarantee this bottom rune. Will he even get it, though, is the question. And the coin says no. There's a high five over the Fisher. Team's in good spirits.
You'll have to see
Sumail gets the DD.
I mean, this is a great start for him, definitely. The other hero to talk about is the Tidehunter facing off against the Faceless Void. Oftentimes people talk about Tide just being a really good matchup against any melee hero. Is this going to be a tough lane for Nisha, do you think?
I think with the Crystal Maiden, she's not the best support right in these situations. In fact, Puppy's even getting ran at right now with that gush early on, the telekinesis, and looking for a first blood here.
One more punch. Oh, and Crit going to pick it up as first blood drawn against Puppy.
Yeah, and he's off to a good one again here. Crit, a stellar performance on the Wind Ranger. Gonna buy his boots about 25 minutes earlier or so, I think, on the Rubik. And give himself some movement speed in this lane.
And you can see also keeping that Bastion, causing some issues with Nisha last hitting, trying to mess up his timings on it. Always very frustrating to try and play against this as the Faceless Void. Meanwhile, YapzOr again making this move. Fly is just shadowing him this entire time though, and knows his movement because of that ward place down. And Puppy again underneath the tower. S4 is just gonna chase him down, he's dead again. 2 quick kills for Crit.
Yeah, you're not getting a lot of help out of your Faceless Void. I mean, the guys had to go 2 points in the time walk as well. Doesn't have that nice free lane where you're just skilling up the bash and playing aggressive. Nisha, we haven't seen him struggle all too much this season. This guy has been the epitome of just like the perfect player. Seems to always give you a stand-up performance. Not even a stable carry. The guy is just absolutely electric in every performance throughout the year. But he had a couple rough ones. Last game, he still had a good time. Obviously couldn't carry it through. He had some rough games on the Arc Warden during the group stage, and now this isn't really shaping up to be a great start for him. Even with like good lasts and stuff, it still looks kind of stressful to me.
Yeah, definitely.
He has to worry about the Disruption and the Chronosphere. He's worried about the Ravage. He's worried about a Rubik who's going to have a great range at this rate if he gets his Arcane Boots into his Aether Lens early. It's going to be really hard for him to actually output damage during the Chronosphere.
Yeah, it's less about what's happening right now and what's more going to happen as the game goes into the mid stages. Yeah. And so we do see S4 still getting a nice little start here for himself. 23-1, top of the net worth, or rather last hits at this point.
I mean, he actually has 5 heroes on the enemy team that are going to be interrupting him, right? There's going to be a Yules on the left track, a stun from the Sven. Whoever's outside of the Chrono can have some impact there, which means that his allies have to be perfect with these Chronos when it comes down to the Invoker and the Enigma.
And I love this from Arteezy too. He knows that he's going to basically have a one-on-one matchup against the Enigma, so just keeps on punching away at those Eidolons, not even worrying that much about last hitting the creeps because he knows that he'll be able to come back from afterwards and just kills them off and shuts down the Enigma's laning potential.
Good positioning here from YapzOr as the bounty runes are coming. Unfortunately, does he have the time? Yeah, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Got the Fisher, easy peasy.
And
but is that 3 for 1?
Oh, that looks like they're going to be able to pick up more than a few of them. And also getting some more damage again on the Puppy. The captain keeps on getting beat down. 3 kills so far for Crit.
Oh, give the
Just
guy
a
the
nice
bash.
little spree if he's able to get it. And yes, it is going to be a win as...
That is the worst. Oh, that is the worst feeling for Crit. That's 400 bonus XP going to Nisha. The guy is almost level 6 now.
Yeah.
At 5.5 minutes. With his support feeding 3 times. The tactical feed from Puppy comes out. It's genius.
Complained the entire time through, definitely. But still, Sven sitting top. The CS afterwards after clearing through those Eidolons and the rotation moving in. Fly trying to make sure that YapzOr is not going to be able to be effective with the rotation. Instead, it's mid 1 that might end up going down. Diabolic Edict's out, doing a good bit of damage. Is it going to be quite enough though? EMP draining all of the mana.
1 second.
Chase4 needs it again. It's going to be enough to save him. Invoker at the last second. Fly trying to make it work. Needs another Shadow Poison out. And mid 1 with that quas is regenning through it all. Secret salvage.
All right, I'm
Absolute
just saying.
disaster.
I'm just saying XP streak. That's all I'm saying. Where's the Sven? This guy's been alone the entire time. He's not. He just got 6.
Yeah. That doesn't happen unless Crit gets that spree.
It is so weird. And what an amazing Chrono, though, coming through the perfect moment. And the Edict damage post-death was not enough there from Sumail. You saw kind of tickling onto a couple heroes, but...
Unreal. Well, 3-4, but it was 4 big ones coming out from Secret, and you can see this rotation that comes in the very last second.
Yeah, and everything was gone, right? Already used the Fisher. Now Fly comes through the distraction setup, and you pretty much have to accept that. Maybe one's going to be going down here, and then Big Poppy comes through from Nisha. And look how late the TP is. Mid-1 had like 200 HP left. And he's like, oh, yeah, no, it's good. I got it, guys. Let me just tank every bit of the Edict, too. Tower's helping out as well, doing its part.
Well, very impressive. And going back to live in just a moment, we can see mid 1. He's feeling it right now.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah. Buddy coming through, and now that even turns the things up top there for Nisha, or for Secret, well, S4 and Nisha, I suppose, right? Because
Yeah.
now S4 is like, why is this guy like 2 levels ahead of me right now?
Yeah, that rotation for a couple of quick kills, and that's the Nisha that we were all hoping to see on the main stage of TI. As we saw S4 just walk away, still getting a little bit testy down bottom with Arteezy. But with Fly nearby, always has that potential for a disruption save.
Yeah, and Arteezy's still up there close with the Faceless Void as well, especially as he's just going to keep on going through the jungle and going to be a lot quicker clearing out these stacks compared to someone like Nisha, who also doesn't really have the sustain this early on to keep himself farming. He's very reliant on the lane creeps.
Absolutely. But they are going to try and clear through the stack with the help of Puppey. Meanwhile, down bottom, mid one was able to pick up an Invis rune. Zai still sitting close to his level 6, but not quite there as of yet. And the lift up onto mid one. They want to try and take this guy down. Disruption, building up the Shadow Poison. Ravage combination, beautifully played by S4 right as disruption ends. But Yapzor is there, 3 stacks. He's going to need at least another one. And it doesn't look like they're going to get it. Another Chronosphere lands down onto 2 of them. Can they turn this one around on a Fly as well? Sumail trying to make something happen. Nisha very, very low, and he will go down. S4 manages to find that kill.
And that's a streak right back. Now heading towards S4. So we're evening things out here as the Streak XP hops around. I mean, 268 gold for him as well. Man, the timing on that from EG was actually wild. S4 TB's in at level 5. Only the range creep left alive in the lane. He just moves in time for that to give him the Ravage as they're initiating with the disruption. That is the kind of stuff that... that range creep was in deny range. I mean, that was terrifying.
Yeah, if you don't hit that, then all of a sudden this huge rotation, all these heroes, doesn't work out. But nonetheless, they managed to find the one on Anisha. Could not quite find the kill on the mid one, who still remains deathless. But now EG in a position with Chronosphere down to try and pressure this tower. And well, there's a TP rotation coming from mid one. The fissure to block off retreat, and Arteezy just wanting to walk away. He doesn't have any mana left over, and Tornado lift up. Yapzor has him in his sights. They find the kill onto the Sven.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about how Nisha's going to have a rough game. We should definitely say the same thing about Arteezy, though, right? Because he is to be worried about the Fissures, the Chronos, all of this Quaswex Invoker early on with the Tornadoes and the Cold Snap control. Very hard to handle. And Nisha now 4 points in the time walk. Not going to keep chasing. He'll let Fly survive. Just end up leaving the bottom lane and securing these bounty runes for himself.
10-minute mark comes around. And it is going to be the trade-off of 2 apiece as Nisha not wanting to test too much with Sumail. That is something that we should mention. The panel was thinking that it was going to be the Exort Invoker, but with Quaswex now, a little bit less damage to throw into that Chronosphere. But the plus side is that it kind of puts the kibosh on the fights, if you will.
Perhaps a way to try and slow down this early game for the side of EG, right? Try and delay things out, try and mess with things like the Ravages and the timing and all the synchronization that they're going to need to help set up Sumail for an easier game.
Yeah.
But Exort, of course, could also just provide a ton of damage with all of the setup that they have on the side of Secret. So as the game progresses and he starts building in towards that Exort, it's going to be extremely valuable for mid one.
Definitely. Well, 4 to 7, 11-minute mark, as it does look like, again, heading towards this mid lane. There's just been so much focus on shutting down each of the opponent's mids. But Courier going to head off, and S4 sort of doing the hunt. There's no way that he manages to get it, though, surely. And Zai just going to pick up his Midas now and start the farm wars.
Top of the net worth in the game, by the way. Been given a ton of space in that bottom lane. He didn't manage to take the tower because he TP'd up to help get the kill onto Arteezy when they were focusing their own tier 1 tower in the top lane. So that is one thing that, the typical Enigma game would have liked to have, but still very happy with it so far. And now that Tornado stole that from Crit, so perhaps a smoke in the near future for them if they want to try and make a play with Sumail.
Yeah, it could be really nice, definitely. See if they need to make that type of a move.
S4 is just trying to bully up top here, just walking under the tower, anchor smashing some Eidolons, and put the threat onto Zai. And that brings the 2 supports over. Puppey and Yapzor just say, oh, okay, everything all right here?
Yeah. Again, playing very reserved at this stage. We had a
Looks
flurry
like they
of
want
action
mid lane.
early on, As Crit gonna be able to find the lift, pull back now, Ravage to land. There's a lot of regen coming in, but it's not enough.
I like the way they're using this Ravage. I think it's completely fine to just shut down one of these 2 cores early. If you can secure a kill onto Nisha or mid one, that's a great way to go for it in the first couple of minutes. Now, ideally, you're securing towers after this, right? Especially when you have the Leshrac.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're just a little bit too threatened from Nisha's start here on the Faceless Void and concerned about the potential rotation of the Chronosphere. Now they are going to approach, though. Definitely like this.
Oh, very, very bold. Crit position and Fly back behind as well, ready to interrupt if there is a black hole there. Tornado available, and the tier 1 tower going to be denied, but still taken.
They brought all of those big spells in, though, right? They have the Chronosphere. They have the black hole, so EG able to force rotations and still get out with the tower in hand. Deny, of course, still good for Secret, but space being denied away here from Team Secret.
Yeah, and that tornado is super valuable to steal. Just to interrupt all these engagements. Nisha building towards the Maelstrom next, it looks like, and it seems that Secret want to make a move themselves.
Yeah, the classic 12 to 14 minutes, right? This seems to happen in most games we've been casting here at TI, is that each team reads exactly what the other one's doing, and they both smoke to the top lane or the bottom lane, and it's just, yeah, I'm taking your tier 1, you're taking mine. We agreed to trade off.
Yeah. Well, and then it opens up the jungle, you can go for the farm, and finished it basically simultaneous
Puppy
moments.
is so slow.
Yeah.
He went the double bracer.
Oh
he
my
does
God.
have the boot gold now, so he'll be bringing those out. But Crystal Maiden, whew, 279. It's a hard life these days.
Yeah, man. This is the all for my team. Just get my aura, make it happen. Bottom lane, Nisha sticking around. S4 is there, and they'll be able to force him back. Still 30 seconds until Ravage.
Yeah, Nisha playing scared, right? He's kind of baiting here. He's going to rotate back around to the top of the stairs. Like, oh, why would he time walk away if he has friends nearby? That doesn't sound like a good idea.
Yeah.
They do have Radiant Vision up on the hill, though. Thank you. That's exactly what he sounds like, actually. So, I mean, right now it's S4 baiting.
Yeah. And they're going in for it. Still 15 seconds away. The disruption, great combo, and Puppy going to be interrupted in his ulti as well. Very well played here as they steal Freezing Field, and Puppy just going to hit the deck.
And they actually didn't have Ravage.
That's crazy.
Secret now, of course, is having the perfect timing.
Oh, he's thinking about it. Ooh. Doesn't decide to go for the Ravage.
Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Unlikely you're going to get the follow-up kill by yourself because his friends are still here, but YapzOr bails.
Yeah. Doesn't want to take this fight anymore.
Too worried about additional heroes. They had all that vision inside, so saw that there were extra numbers. But now it's 15 minutes. You got to press forward if you're EG. You say, you know, Puppy's dead. They're scared. Let's get that battery and Fly's just up there.
Moving in for it, definitely.
Oh, God, they're there.
Trying to interrupt. Can they get to the 9 in the bounty rune? Not going to happen, but mid one already throwing out the EMP combo. Eulcepal with dodge. And EG going to now try and assault the tier 1 tower, it looks like.
Nisha did get the top bounty at the very least. There's actually one more lurking there if he wants to try and go for it. If he reads the situation, he's going to see a lot of EG heroes on that bottom lane, but Sumail not revealing. Could think that he's there. And the line drawn now from Fly saying push out the top and the mid lane. And they're not going to care about bottom.
All right.
They're done. They're going to leave their vision. That's going to try and set them up for the next fight.
I guess as far as tower goes, it's one of the least important ones in the game, that bottom dire tier 1.
And they got the bounty rune too. So perfect stuff there from EG. Another strong start. A 1K lead. Nothing insurmountable, of course, at this point in the match.
Well, so at this point, do you feel like there's one team that's maybe a little bit in a better position if it does start to go late? Bobo was obviously saying that he felt like this was a game that was going to go into the late stages. Are you worried at all? Oh?
No, I mean, they both have amazing late game tools, right? There's no question. We'll have to see if YapzOr can figure this out here. Things very close to the tree line here.
EG had that ward as well, so they knew that YapzOr was coming in, and it looks like they're just going to try and retreat. Although Tornado. Ooh, that was close.
I mean, what do we got for our supports, right? We have a big save from Fly, the disruption, and then you have the ultimate, like, position 4 turnaround heroes of the Rubik and the Earthshaker, very similar. Big reason why these two always come out at TI, right? It's hard to beat these two in terms of that, like, instant, I'm turning this fight around, I'm winning this for my team out of the support role. Crit, of course, still waiting to use that freezing field as well. Maybe gonna goad his team into a smoke before he runs out on it. Or at least go farm some neutrals. That's another great way to use it.
Definitely. Stack
these two camps right now, you know, 17-minute mark, get yourself some gold.
Let's get a blink, baby. Make it happen.
Yeah,
they have been using the Ravage pretty continually to try and go for a kill onto mid one, but not an easy kill with YapzOr right behind.
These teams are actually so similar this game, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, there's going to be BKB concerns for the Invoker as well as the Leshrac. You've got that instant, like, the first 20 seconds of the fight, or not even, the first 5 seconds of the fight are so stupidly important for Sven and Void.
Yeah.
You know? It has to be perfect. It has to be the stun into all the damage. It has to be the chrono into all the damage, the perfect setup. I got to get the guy who's got the save on the back line. It's so many big brain plays coming out here, and it should be a real treat here. The longer it stays even, the more excited I get, frankly.
And now the Fissure actually going to block off mid one for the moment. Can they find the X splitter afterwards? And they will be able to. So they take down mid one. Just the wraparound coming, and YapzOr not able to save his mid player.
Yeah, taking number advantage here. Threatened with the Ravage with the Soul Ring. Gonna start pushing the tower a little bit. And speaking of pushing, you got the Boots of Travel finished up for Sumail. Yules and bots at 18 minutes.
You can see Dota Plus favoring Team Secret right now. They feel like this Faceless Void could be one of those heroes that they just really like a lot, like the Spectre. His potential in the late game, as we're going into it, it feels like. But we will see. 7-7, 18 minutes in. And right now, both teams getting into the next series of items. Sumail has his bots, can push out the side lanes more effectively, maybe start to put some pressure along that top tier 1 or tier 2 tower rather.
Yeah, into that jungle zone. That ward's still surviving here for EG. It has given them so much information, and now a sentry catches a sentry, which makes Puppey perhaps a little suspicious, but he won't drop another. Didn't catch an observer. When you see the sentry like that, you gotta think like, do they have vision here as well? So yeah, he's dropping down some more.
They know though, and S4 wanting to make use of this early Blink Dagger purchase.
Yeah, another very aggressive Tide build, right? No medallions or Solar Crest or anything, just straight for the Blink, all about the Ravage.
Puppey is there. They have an idea that he's in the area, but they don't have the Sven with them. Smoke breaks now onto Puppey, getting some vision, chasing forward. They have the Purge. Still looking for YapzOr. S4 wanting that +1, and they're actually grouped up together. Zai, he's got to be so careful. If S4 knows, he jumps forward. Ravage going to connect onto 3 of them. The follow-up coming through. There's no black hole in this fight. Can they get mid one afterwards? INTERCEPTOR to interrupt. Puppey going to try and play interference, but big win for EG.
Yeah, and a good steal for Crit, too. He gets the level 4 Crystal Nova with 3 points in Arcane Supremacy. That thing hits hard.
And still gonna have to back out again as S4 a bit too far. So having those huge nukes coming from Crit now, can see the damage being dealt, and it was just that quick reaction and that ward. The ward you talked about in that bottom lane, scouting it all out.
That is the most value ward I've seen in a long time, I gotta say. And from an area of the map that doesn't necessarily get that much play, but it feels like EG they've forced it, right? By the way they're controlling the lanes.
Looking for the catch. Nisha gonna pop the BKB and just turn to fight. Puppey gonna pop the ultimate as well. Isn't enough to kill off Sumail? I think the answer is yes. And now looking for Fly. Nisha able to make the move for his team, as they did not anticipate that BKB.
And instant smoke too from YapzOr. He says, I've got more here. I don't quite have my Blink Dagger, but I want to force a fight while we're at the advantage. Mid one chasing.
Oh, mid one has a feeling. Crit is going to be the one that's caught, and Arteezy needs to get the heck out of here. If he is not careful, might get killed off afterwards. Tornado gonna find the lift. They're in trouble. Trying to get the time walk away. Crit's actually living through it. They follow up the follow-up stun, but it's not going to happen.
Does a little dance before his death.
EG lose 3, and back and forth we go.
Man, that BKB reveal could not have gone any better there for Nisha. Gets himself a double kill, puts his team in an excellent position for a follow-up, and now pushing the tier 1 mid with the Enigma. No real chance of defense here. I can't believe S4 is even coming in here. He's really in. He says, hey guys, they got nothing left. Just the black hole, and I guess he doesn't care.
Yeah, man, this guy's got Kraken Shell. Still all happy. Maybe try and bully Puppey a little bit here. There's a chance. He has Blink Dagger, the time dilation slow. S4 decides he does not want to run at people anymore. Didn't have the gush up because of time dilation. So, 21 minutes, 9-10, only 1,000 gold separating these two teams. And the BKBs starting to come out means that this is where the fights become a little bit topsy-turvy.
Yeah. Feels like there's a bit of a worry maybe for Arteezy, right? Like he's going to start losing some of his space. That mid-tier one's gone. They lost the bottom tier one a little bit earlier. Perhaps the invasions are going to begin now from Seeker with the Blink Dagger on YapzOr. And he still needs quite a few items on this Sven. But, you know, he's got the Midas efficiency, so it's okay.
Yeah, that's the way to win.
He's going to smoke up. He's looking for that initiation for the team. So we
Ravage.
got Stormhammer, we got Ravage, and we got Fly Smoke getting popped by mid one with the
Now
dust
they
now.
know YapzOr trying to play interference, but the Ravage comes again from S4. They cake him down, and EG pick up another 2 key heroes and immediately into the pit afterwards.
Wait, we have completely different philosophies between S4 and Zai, right?
Yes.
Zai is playing the game of the threat of the black hole, and S4 is playing like Centaur right now, where he's just getting two-man stomps off again. This guy, I guess the perennial scapegoat for S4 or for EG throughout the year, right? S4 Doom, haha. You know, the only hero he could live and win on, kind of a deal. The guy had some pretty rough games, a lot of 0-6s, 0-7s. But it's TI time, baby. This guy's a TI winner. He's been up there. He's done this. You think this place phases him at all?
He knows what he's doing, definitely. Definitely proving the haters wrong here. Playing a fabulous Tide game so far. Still, though, it is a hero that's naturally going to be a little bit behind in terms of farm just because he's not going for that Midas that Zaya's going for. It feels like Secret are kind of prepping for that later stage. But EG just getting the Aegis now, going to need to deal with a smoke coming from Secret with Chronosphere available.
Yeah, time for the aggressive plays again here once the Ravage is back up for EG. Until then, they do have to try and dodge exactly what Secret are bringing.
Well, Secret trying to find an opening here. It feels like
they know exactly what's happening. They saw Zai rotating through.
Gotta be careful. They're baiting one. They realize that Crit's in the area too, as well as Fly jumps forward, and Arteezy able to get off to the other side. They only find one in the Chronosphere. That's not good enough, ladies and gents. And now Nisha trying to control it, find that one kill. They have an Echo Slam afterwards if they want to use it. Zai also looking for that opening with the black hole. He has the blink. Can they find the opening? It's not going to be there. Delta Split, get the heck out of dodge. Sumail still living through this one. They've only lost the Shadow Demon so far, and Nisha just trying to run away. And Secret have to escape. They got to get the heck out of here. Vision connecting again onto 2. Can they turn this one? YapzOr falls. And meanwhile, off to the side, S4 just runs away. They dodged it all.
At the very least, they did manage to save Nisha there. I thought he was going to go down. Got ourselves a support for support. But I think it was the Frostbite that came through and interrupted the follow-up there from Sumail. So Puppy with the big save. Keep his carry alive, because that was not looking too good. But for EG now, they're going to press forward. And they won't have the God Strength, but they do have the Ravage, which should be enough with the power of the Aegis to put themselves well past this tier 2. What kind of wards we got? We got 2 observers right now from Fly, so gotta get some special placements here to keep control of this dire jungle.
And a scary moment as well coming from EG as Crit has that Blink Dagger done. And as you mentioned in the fight, stolen Chronosphere. This could be one of those moments. You gotta be so careful if you're Team Secret. 3,000 gold lead, but more importantly, cooldowns still working with them right now on Secret. They have 30 more seconds until Chronos back up, but around 90 until they have Echo Slam again.
Yeah, they just want mid, I assume, for EG here. Have to push that bottom lane first, but they've got time with the Aegis to still do this. Good observer ward here, still spotting what Sumail's doing, hiding in the tree line.
Looking for it, Zai moves in. They have the black hole available, but saving it for now. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, it looks like a jump through. They're still going to be able to find the one. Sumail looking like he's going to go down, but able to dodge away. Puppy finds the kill. In the meantime, mid one dies.
All right, calling all reinforcements.
And this was the Aegis, so Sumail's back again in a sec.
Some long TPs down here. They're even thinking about sticking around because they have the Chrono back up now. Maybe going to attempt to force a backstab here, but EG, they still like what they see with mid one being dead. So contemplating a mid push here, Arteezy. He's being so stealthy, he's not even using his Midas, which I know is killing him inside.
Yes.
But he waits for that perfect jump.
We all go through pain for the victory.
He's itching right now. The camp's just right up there.
But they're really itching
something
for
good.
The jump in as they catch out Zai yet again. Another round. Evil geniuses keep on finding these pickoffs, and it's the vision. Over and over again, those wards placed down, spotting the opening. And now EG walking high ground. They've still got Chrono.
The Golden Glove was worth the wait there. S4 has been incredible on this side, and are so aggressive with this Blink Dagger.
Be careful. Where are you going to step next, Secret? Arteezy.
They still have Chrono.
Dodged out, keeping it for now. Both Secret and Evil Geniuses have Chronosphere. A little while left on the spell steal.
Who's going to have the better Chrono? That's the question. 55 seconds of precise timing. Thank you very much.
And the back away. EG managed to get some damage onto that tier 3, but really it was the tier 2 taken, and now Secret, no more tier 2s around. And again, it's every time it feels like it's Evil Geniuses having that vision advantage. VSJ mentioned on the panel that it was going to come down to who found the better initiation. That's what's been happening.
Yeah, we're not quite at that like late game stats they're looking for, but yeah, you look at those sentries placed, and there it is. Wards destroyed 3 for Secret, only 1 so far from EG, but at least they have the confidence of where to move, right? Because they know there's no observers when you're dropping that many sentries.
Absolutely. Now BKB.
Speaking of which, they're walking right under an observer, and they're being pinged out here. So Secret looking for that big play, but there's an observer sentry combo also spotting that Invoker in the mid lane.
Both teams under vision and not willing to take that fight. But it's all come to the tune of a 5,000 gold lead right now for EG.
I can't believe S4 hasn't died with the way he's played too.
It's been insane.
Yeah, definitely my my MVP so far in this one. I had a spectacular game last one as well on the Centaur War Runner. But he's just the driving force right now. He's walking, he's marching towards that tier 3 tower, and he's saying, yo team, tell me if there's a fight. I got Ravage in 25. Sumail.
Looks like it could be. Gotta be ever so careful. The wraparound could come, although they don't have Nisha with them right now. So Nisha going to come on back. Puppey realizing I need to deal with the creep waves that's pushing into the bottom lane, and simultaneously CRTZ move up towards the top lane and push that one off of their tier 2 tower.
Yeah, this is a prep for Roche time, right? You got the bottom lane way far out if you're EG. So you want to get that mid lane, that top lane, you want to get some wards in the dire jungle, and you want to get yourself all ready and raring to go for the big guy.
God, it's got to be said again, though, the problem right now in this Secret game is feeling like mid one. You know, right now only 200 gold ahead of Crit on his Rubik. It has been a very tough game for this Quaswex Invoker.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of ways to farm as the Quaswex Invoker other than kills, right? And the team fights have not been going their way. He is creating opportunities for someone like Zai, kind of similar to last time too, right? Unfortunately, at least for EG this time, the Enigma is not going to drop off a cliff like the Ench did. So,
yes.
I mean, that does matter if Zai has the R button bound, but eventually that black hole will be coming into play.
Yeah. And we can see that Secret dodging away from fighting until that Chronosphere wears off, which it now, at this point, has. So EG no longer with that competitive advantage in the next fight. But the downside is that this Rubik is also as farmed as your Invoker.
Yeah, and he's just been, like, he's the reason why, of course. You know, we're giving Zai a hard time, but he knows he can't black hole unless he either sees the spell steal or he catches the Rubik inside. And then once the Aghanim comes out, well, then you just have to get the Rubik or that's it.
Yes. DD spawns.
He is actually close to that Lincoln, though, so he'll have himself at least some option there with the BKB. He will have the potential, as they'll have to go for the Purge into the Steal.
You saw there the stats from Crit momentarily, and one of the ones that is highlighted again is Camp Stack. That was one that you were pointing out in the last game.
Yeah, geez, it was 23 camp stacked by EG in the previous match compared to the 5 of Secret. Of course, it made a little bit of sense when you've got a Sven and a Leshrac, but still, they are materializing gold. They have perfected alchemy with the Alchemist Band. So EG just very on today as they take the field.
Smoke up right now. S4 again. They spot out Zai. This could be the man that they want to jump on. Roche, 2.5 minutes before it's going to respawn.
Scouting Sunstrike there from mid one just to ensure that nothing.
Oh, they're all grouped together. They jump for it. S4! He finds them all again. They can't cut wood. The follow-up coming though. Nisha's already there. He's trying to take down one. He wants to kill off Crit so they can get a black hole afterwards. The turnaround coming from Zai. Can they kill them all off in the duration of it? Puppey chasing Arteezy. He pops the BKB, runs to fight, catches out Nisha. Can they kill him off in time? Yeah, through with the Astral Slam. The second turnaround. Give him the okie doke. And Secret still seeing if they can find Sumail, but they're not going to be able to. With all those heroes dead so quickly and all the ultis used, the big win is that the thing that's crazy is there's no Roche even.
That Yules from Sumail to stop the fall-off damage as well, though. Absolutely huge to make sure that he wouldn't go down. But big stuff there from Team Secret. They finally find a fight. They get the big pick-off that they needed with that that Chrono. You saw him just instantly, like, there he is. There's the Rubik, and Zai breathes a massive sigh of relief. He does 4,500 damage on the Enigma, and then 5,017 on the Faceless Void there from Nisha, as you saw.
Dude, and the buybacks came so
there
quick.
You go.
You talk about the double bubble. It's just back and forth and back and forth. big team fight ultis, killing off
Look,
that
I mean,
Rubik.
that's how good it is, guys. The double bubble, Cinderin could win with this. It's extremely strong.
Oh.
Sorry, it's too easy at this
It's
point.
too easy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure, but it looked like Zai might not have gotten his BKB off at the start of that one, possibly, which caused some of the turnaround. Whew.
All right, now just do it
everybody.
again. How
Take a
hard is
moment.
that, right? I mean, everyone's going to be taking a moment because that was a lot of spells cast. We got some big cooldowns, and so we're going to be waiting for a while.
And still no chance for the Roche because of the long respawn time. Like, if that happens immediately afterwards and Roche respawns, like, Secret could go in and steal it away. But not the case this time. Butterfly completed for the Void.
Yeah, he is very scary. You saw how much damage he was outputting there. Tends to be a very magic damage-based hero because of the bash, and a like Maelstrom builder, but now that Butterfly just going to help with the pure right clicks too. Of course, just amplifying everything with the attack speed.
33 minutes in, and again, S4 doesn't have the Ravage this time. Nisha up on the low ground, starts to find him, gets the lift up though for the
They can't
turnaround.
finish him,
Sunstrike,
no.
it's not there. He has Chronosphere, but he just didn't use it. And now Chase Ford finds the second round of it. They group apart Nisha, only able to find one, but it might be a good enough one at that. But the disruption coming from Fly, saving his buddy life, need to get the heck out of there. Sumail gets the Yule Scepter lift up, still lives through it, and now Puppey is the one who's gonna get caught. And that Chronosphere was not good enough.
Great use of
Ravage is
spell
now
steal.
back up. Chasing forward, Arteezy finds one, the Ravage again to interrupt, and now the follow-up. They've got Nisha no, but the Malefice. They can kill him off in time before he's able to get the jump away. EG find 3.
Team Secret tried to thread the needle there because they knew that Ravage wouldn't be up, right? They're just checking the cooldowns. They're like, let me see, Ravage, 150. We got Faceless Boy, the Chrono, 120. It was there. It was ready, a 30-second window. But when you try and do things so, like, surgical like that for Secret and you fail, it's going to be very, very painful.
And like you said, it's that initiation. You fully commit into the fight, and by that time, it takes you those 30 seconds to get away afterwards. And that does leave open now another Aegis going into the hands of Sumail.
Well, they do have the black hole back, of course, for Zai. It wasn't ready for that team fight. That is another thing about trying to throw that Needles. They were completely reliant there, and as you can see at the end of that fight, another unbelievable Ravage here from S4. The start of the fight, when they first done Nisha, they didn't have enough lockdown. Not enough allies nearby to try and get that kill, but in that moment, yeah, Fly. Woo! Let's go, he says. We're back, we got the Aegis, we got the cheese. On to the march to the high ground once again.
Dude, part of it is that it's like, you know, obviously a really good tied game, but the part of the thing too is S4 is just putting the team on his back right now.
He's playing fearless, 100% right now.
That's what you got to do.
And Sumail, I think we're watching a replay here because he just finished his Shivas. It's 35 minutes in, and the guy's got the same stuff going on here. He is terrifying. The only thing he's missing is the level 25 for those Diabolic Edict explosions. And now, if he gets stuck inside a Chrono with someone like Crit, if you're going to be focusing on Crit the whole time, you're going to be taking a lot of damage if he manages to get that 25.
Well, the panel was talking about Leshrac at TI5. That had one particular ending, if you all recall.
Oh, he was there.
He
This
was
guy.
there. That guy was there.
Sumail guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not want to keep on giving him Lesh, it feels like.
Yeah, Crit thought that was funny.
Crit appreciates my humor. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. Ravage, 25 seconds away.
Yeah, that's another window here where they do have the edge in the ultimates from Team Secret. A little bit down in the net worth, though. As you pointed out before, mid one still just on the struggle bus here.
Again, needing to get into those items. At this point, he does have the Aghanims Cold Snap talent, but only level 16. I mean, Nisha's walking by him at 24 right now. He's the third lowest level in the game.
Oh. Goodness. That's like last game, right?
True.
Crit was out-leveling him before, and he's out-leveling him again. The Grand Magus defeating the Invoker.
The smoke up. They have an inkling that somebody might be heading up top, and guess who it is? Mid one, trying to create some space for his team.
Sumail's hasted, he's running.
Do they break on him? Sumail's off to the left. Meanwhile, Arteezy, he's going to realize that they're over there, but it looks like they won't go for the fight.
And they all blink away as S4 blinks in.
Yeah, the Secret realize now.
At the very least, mid one did stick around up top, so he'll go for the next wave. That one perhaps a little bit oh, okay. He goes from the out of range tornado.
Yeah. Afterwards, sending out the Forge Spirit, needing to play as safe as can be. Can't afford to lose anybody at this stage of the game.
Oh, we're talking 25s though, and there's the big one. The plus 40 strength on the God strength now for Arteezy.
You look at the buyback status. Only the Enigma and the Crystal Maiden have it for Dire.
That is terrifying. All right, Nisha's super close.
Yes.
Okay.
They all are super close, but you got to get that buyback before you take the fight. Nisha also almost 25.
Before EG bring the fight as well. It's only a minute and 45 left here, though, on that Aegis.
They spotted him, I think, on that ward. Sumail looking for an opening here. They're also bringing in Arteezy.
Dude,
Nisha shows
these
up.
wards down here,
Oh, God.
has been insane.
That other ward, Nisha needs to be so careful. He jumps away, though, realizing what's going on.
The vision.
The lift up. They jump in. They find the stun, and they get him. Oh, my God. They get him again. He did manage to get buyback gold right before that.
But the greed, man, not BKB TPing. I mean, you can't blame him, right? That was just a field TP.
But that means that they know that Sumail as well as Arteezy are not here, and they're going to find at least one turnaround kill. S4 moving in, looking for YapzOr, but Sumail botsed into this fight. They've caught Puppey with the splitter. They find another kill. Off to the side.
Careful about this buyback, though.
Oh, not only that, they don't have crit right now. They can't stop a BKB black hole. They maybe need to find one first, and S4 could think about jumping in if they want to use it. Arteezy also behind enemy lines.
They can't black hole the Aegis, though, unless they're super confident in the chrono after with a buyback, which would be fair.
Again, maybe a little bit risky here from Evil Geniuses, as they are going to walk up, take down this tier 3 tower. Sumail is going to try and back out, yeah.
They just want shrines.
Need to be careful. And Zai not going to take the bait for the jump. So EG take down the tier 3 tower. That opens up these shrines to be taken as well. And if there is going to be a next Roche fight, EG should have the advantage with buybacks.
Oh, Fly with the beautiful wards again in the same spot, creating two of the biggest moments in this match for EG to help give them this lead and drive them towards a potential 2-0 here. They've lost the edge of the Aegis now, though, as you hear it expire. But they do gain a BKB now in S4. He's holding the cheese, probably going to pass that off to Sumail. As you can see, the open slot's still there, and S4 will be happy to tank it up with the BKB instead. Now up to a 67% win probability, according to Dota Plus.
Dota Plus is feeling like it's going to be a 2-0. At this point, Secret needing to come up with an answer. 11,000 gold lead for EG. The INTERCEPTOR just now completed for the Rubik. Those couple of huge team fights, the turning point in this one to try and move EG into
you want to see something nasty?
What's that?
You just hover over that spell steal. Like, I mean, that range.
Yeah.
How do you play around that? This is such a hard game.
It's a freaking screen.
Let me just click Lincoln's here. All right, we got a 13-second cooldown. Let me click Rubik. 2 seconds.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a very effective counter.
This is going to be a problem. Unless they're able to find the Rubik. That has to be one of the ways to do this. Maybe even just chrono the Rubik and then you go black hole everybody else.
That is completely fine at this point.
Mid one still scouting out for his team.
TZ sending the Midas home. Off to the farm.
And this is a DD rune spotted as well.
But Courier helping out there. Sending it. Nice micro there. The Midas has done its job. Will be sold now.
But look at this. Secret, they need to defend the top tower. Or top set of backs. There's creeps in the base.
All right, what kind of tools do we have here? YapzOr, he's working on a potential Aether Lens to just keep his stuns up. Big damage from Nisha. He wants it all in this team fight. No buyback. He is a one-and-done kind of hero in the Faceless Void. That's how he's going to treat it. This means that he 100% has to get the chrono off before dying. You keep the buyback, you can play a little lax. You know what happens. It's not the worst thing. But
he did take the backtrack cooldown instead of the
try to stay alive.
Yeah,
you know?
Everything to stay alive. But you do remember last game what happened. Nisha not being dissuaded from dying without buyback in the previous game, going for that play again. Just hopefully not the dying part.
Yeah, there might be some time, depending on if they can get outside their base, if they can read the fact that EG is just spacing for the Aegis. Especially with Sumail showing on the bot.
And I guess the big key there is they feel like they have to all in for that Aegis play. And if they don't win the Aegis fight, you know, it's going to be really tough for them. And likewise, you can't buy back and just TP in.
Mid one is so scared this game, though, that he can't even get farmed. right? Like, he's running around invis, trying to push lanes for his team to keep them in this and create pressure on EG to make large rotations across the map. But he gets to hit 2 creeps, and now he's back ghost walking.
Yeah.
Like, it's not surprising he's only 2K ahead of Crit. When he has to give this kind of a game, he's trying to give as much farm as he can over to Nisha, who's now time walking into the tree line down on the bottom.
It's just so scary. Like, you've got such ridiculous damage coming from EG after a stun, and they just keep on getting stun locked and killed. Pickoff after pickoff, 22 to 16, 42 minutes in.
Fly just said, hey guys, we can take that shrine.
Yeah, let's
Just
do it.
drew a little line. He's like, hey, I guess got some free gold there. Why open we can't allow a backstab to happen, right, if we end up going high ground. They're still waiting for the Roche, and oh my goodness, that was a fast spawn.
Very fast spawn. We'll see if they're able to spot it. INTERCEPTOR.
Nisha has decided that he can solo kill Sumail if it's not obvious, because he's waiting. You know, he doesn't need any XP. He would like a little bit more gold for his buyback, but he is just completely hoping that Sumail will TP down here.
Yeah, but likewise, EG, if you don't see Nisha farming out the creep waves, might give an inkling as to where he is. Cataclysm is the pickup. This could be one of the big defining factors here.
The damage up to 350. I mean, that's all right for Pure.
Yeah.
He'll definitely take it. He's not a full Exort Invoker.
But likewise, who do you like this INTERCEPTOR on for the Roche?
What's
pickup?
Nisha's APM right now? It's probably not too high.
Although-
118, oh my god, it's the lowest you're ever going to see it.
Well, you see there as well. Actually, Sumail, he TP'd back, realized he
did.
doesn't like it anymore.
Yeah,
Just leaves.
He saw it, he was like, I don't think so.
So who do you like this INTERCEPTOR on that Roche picked?
That's a good question.
Oh.
We already got it on Crit, right?
have to
Shadow
hold that,
Demon, I
though.
guess, sometimes can be all right. Oh.
There's a smoke up looking for that opening. S4 could be the one that gets jumped on, but it would need a black hole, and then that opens up the Rubik to go for the steal play. And the panel is talking about it, this big frontliner that just, you can't get through the watermelon. It's too tough.
They have 2 of the non-Kraken spells, too. But the Rubik.
It's just too scary. You can't initiate on him.
And well, look where Sumail is. I mean, that creep wave is going to be heading in here. He wants to be nearby because he thinks that Secret might take the opportunity to jump. But they're keeping that wave up. And now Fly pings it again. It's just like, maybe we keep this going?
Just the understanding of where Secret was going to come from and holding on to the
they're
high
trying to
ground.
stack it. Yeah, they stopped the Force Spear from getting in. So they have to Sunstrike it, and they say, indeed. Roshan awaits.
And EG with that are going to move into the pit. Going for the quick kill here.
We got the Black Hole. We got the Freezing Field. We got
Scary.
the Chrono. We got the Echo Slam. Everyone has their moment here from Team Secret. The question is, can he get there in time? I can give you a quick answer. It's absolutely not.
And Roche is going to go down as they pick up.
Sumail's going to carry it around here. It looks like it is indeed Fly who's going to get it.
All right.
It's a nice Ags. I mean, you don't often get to get it, right? But 3 charges on the Demonic Purge. I do agree. I think it's better than the Tide one when you're rocking the phase boots, right? Because you already got mana issues. Spamming Gush on this giant like wave and torrent is a little bit tough, and the guy wants a refresher too. So
Yeah. Need all that mana for other
he's gonna need some mangoes at this point.
He's got the soul ring. I'm sure it's all fine.
He's done the math.
15,000 net worth lead in EG after having taken that Aegis, getting the Ags. Is going to be in a position where they can possibly try and push for the next set of racks here.
The comeback in the last game was virtually impossible for Team Secret once they got down like the racks and everything. And this time they're still holding the high ground, but even more importantly, they just have the better heroes, right? This is much more of a game where it can happen. Unfortunately, they still have the exact same problem in mid one. He's still not scaling.
He did pick up a refresher here, so all of his spells double damage.
Cast spells,
They've got
hit
it
spells.
won. Gotta be careful. Alacrity onto Nisha, looking for their opening. Sumail.
You gotta watch that Scythe. If
Stay
Nisha jumps in here, he's got to BKB preemptively.
Yeah, it's really dangerous. And Sumail taking a lot of damage. Scepter's dodged the hit, but the Cataclysm finds the hit. Was that just the Sunstrike?
Just the Sunstrike, just holding on.
Saving it for the second round afterwards. So that is going to be the end of this push for now as they burn through the Aegis. But they will at least get one range tracks with one last hit from Mr. Cardi.
Yep. Quick loss, though, from Team Secret on that.
Now the call is to head down to the bottom shrine. I mean, that's the thing. Like, in these moments, you've got so many potential ways that Secret could pull it back. You got to play it as safe as can be.
You don't want to be the first mover if you're EG either, right? Unless you see this like perfect opportunity, which is always hard to get going high ground, you would rather they throw out the chrono first, right? Put the pressure on Secret. Don't reveal yourselves as this Rubik, and only feed out your Leshrac with his Aegis.
And we do maybe see one of the problems that Secret have in this game, or rather EG have in this game, is there's a lot of outspam, a lot of damage spells from Secret that don't require a big initiation.
Yeah, but now we do have a BKB on Sumail to help replace that Aegis.
Oh, crit. They realize he's there. Jumped on S4 is in the median on top of him. Look at the damage coming out.
That was a mid-hero.
Oh my god. They didn't stand a chance, and Crit looking to try and chase him down. They don't have buyback on the Invoker with the Chronosphere. Do they have any follow-up? They need the Black Hole afterwards, and Zai able to get it onto both of them. The huge combination coming out with the Echo Slam. One more! Secret! They're doing it! Is it going to be enough now? They're trying to take him down in time. 4-step off to the other side, and S4 gets the cheese off. Trying to run back now. They still don't have mid one, but they forced all these buybacks. EG, are they really going to try and push for more now? Oh man, S4 with the big bad punch. And look at the damage coming from Zai though.
They just spent so much on buybacks and on some big heroes too. Crit, Arteezy, and Sumail. Possibly the three worst ones that have to do it. But again, the big counter to the Chronosphere, it's always the buyback. Nisha has 6,800 gold. He might have to go back home and buy the refresher.
They need to think about it at the very least. 4-step trying to keep him alive. A second 4-step just pushes Stoomgrave. But they do have buyback right now on this Earthshaker. They got to try and hold at this point in time. If they can manage to hold things out, all of a sudden they're going to be in a much better position with those buybacks on cooldown.
It's back. There's no glyph. They're protecting.
And so much damage coming out from Sumail.
It's a bold play, right? But they've read the situation. They know they only lose to the Chrono and the Black Hole. Nisha again shows, still holding that gold.
This is one of those moments. You look at it, and EG, they committed buybacks for this. They get another
And it all started with that pick there on the crit.
God, look at the damage coming.
Yeah, that plus 250 talent is a absolutely monstrous one when it comes to the anchor smash, and then the follow-up there from crit to keep things going. But beautiful. Nisha finds it. Easy follow-up for Zai out of the disruption. It's a save, but it's also a setup, as BSJ pointed out. And YapzOr, after 2 games on the Earthshaker, feels like he finally found himself an echo that mattered.
Yeah. And barely able to get out. That break also coming on to the Faceless Voids. There weren't any bashes afterwards.
Mid one's like, thanks, team. I know, I got this. I'm coming back.
7,000 net worth lead, but again, those buybacks, the big deciding factor in these games, and they use 3 of them.
Yeah, and that's...
Oh, lordy.
Yeah.
Oh
S4 got the gem first, though. Passes it off to Crit. Gonna be looking for mid one as he runs around the map here.
And the scary thing is that mid one will eventually become a hero. He's getting closer to that late game Invoker status. Getting level 20, having the Cataclysm and the Refresher. We didn't see that combination come out in the last fight. And even still, Secret were able to win it. It does sort of beg the question, if Nisha manages to find those Chronospheres, can Secret bring them down in time?
Also, I can't believe he's also going back for the Satanic too. And then he's going for the Lincolns he's thinking after, so Nisha just has full confidence in his first Chrono. He knows that they're also lacking damage, right? Which is the other thing, that he can't fully invest in the Refresher. I do understand that as well, or that line of thinking, because mid one's not offering a whole lot. He's just spellcasting with the Refresher and the Aghanims. Same thing essentially for the Earthshaker and the Enigma. It's all just holding people in place for Nisha to bash them.
Goes back for it after picking up that Satanic, like you said. But nonetheless...
Oh, okay. So he went off the Lincolns.
Yeah. I guess the other thing, too, now is that they have more points up in Exort, so Alacrity matters more.
He needs a base Refresher, too. He doesn't have to, like, carry it around. So now he's got the 6 slots. Yeah. I'm definitely down with this over a Lincoln's.
Well, mid one again, scouting for his team. But we're getting closer and closer to that time. It's still where anything can happen in the late game. It feels like we're going to be waiting for that next Roche.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been brought down to just a 3K difference here in terms of the net worth as well. Kind of getting some heroes topping out here, maybe trying to put it onto some of their allies. So you don't necessarily have Arteezy constantly hitting creeps or Sumail as well, right?
Yeah.
Sumail is closing in on the Octarine core, though, and with his BKB, man, They are going to take these last racks so fast. It might end up being a mega creep game. We all know that doesn't mean it's over. That's for sure. And Nisha now leading the charge here. They're going to some unusual spots. They're going to see an empty camp and say, oh, I wonder where they went next. They're playing detective here, tracking their way through on the hunt.
Now they have a feeling. They drop down the ward up on the high ground. And this smoke's still a decent amount of duration left. YapzOr gonna be the one that picks up the DD, actually.
Observer sentry combo here from the side of EG.
That's going to reveal Nisha once that smoke wears off.
Yes.
So now they know where he's at. EG afterwards could go.
Sunstrike was very, very correct. I wonder where they are.
Yeah. So you can see EG playing very safe now. With no buybacks on several of their heroes, does open up a large window.
Midnight Pulse. I wonder where Enigma's damage.
So much damage.
Midnight Pulse and Black Hole is absolutely ridiculous.
So moving into the pit, the Roche respawn time.
Minute and a half. All right, what does that do for our buybacks? That's the big question, right?
It's not quite good enough for EG. They're not going to have them by the time the Roche spawns.
They needed a real long Roche.
Yeah.
It probably won't be game-ending necessarily, though, with only a minute.
Did get that Eidolon damage also, level 20 talent for Enigma. So if they do manage to push down a lane and get some damage onto the tower, it's going to be quite quick.
Fly just scanning with the illusions right now.
Yeah. Waiting for those buybacks to be ready. Not wanting to put a step forward if they don't have to. God, down to just 1,000 gold lead.
Man, Secret are looking stone cold in the booth right now. I can tell you that. No feet are tapping. Everyone intently on the screen. It's just, you know, the second that one pixel appears, I might have to jump and cast my spell. Stoic in there. Both sides.
EG now. Grouped together, mid one. The plus side of this Ghost Walk is that it's going to give you so much more potential to push out those side lanes without revealing yourself, throwing those tornadoes consistently.
Yeah, he has been playing a bounty hunter that essentially doesn't feed in this game. I feel like mid one has done despite being pretty low in the net worth and everything, he's done a good job of keeping these lanes in a good spot for Secret. It's one of those things that's a little bit thankless. But I think EG, without this Invoker running around and sacrificing himself, EG would probably have megas, if not the game by now. Constantly tornadoing, staying off the map, and it can be hard to keep track of that when he's never showing.
Definitely. Everybody going for Aeon Discs now, knowing the potential.
Yeah, it's a good, very good call. It's kind of the pseudo buyback in a way, right? Of just like, I can't be killed instantaneously.
Yes.
Got myself another chance in this fight. But there's so much follow-up, too, that at the most, you're hoping you just commit 2 big spells for you.
Scan. S4. I mean, there's bounty runs, but oh, God. I mean, he can do what he wants, right? He's had an amazing game so far, but every step forward you take, it's closer to death. But Roche's respawned now. And those buybacks used earlier about to come off cooldown, all of them with the exception of YapzOr. Still about a minute away from his being done.
I mean, the crowd has been pretty loud for these two teams too, but they are just, they await like us. They can feel the tension.
A lot of tension in those booths. A lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and the big testament of what makes the top team is how do you deal with that in these moments?
Well, we got a Forward Spirit and an Illusion if you guys want a real team fight here. There it is. It's 2-on-1. They're battling it out with the Forward Spirit, trying to make the play. Oh, he lives! That was amazing. We can get some more of that.
I love it.
Ah, it's just TI.
Yeah, that's true, right?
That doesn't matter. Oh! And the deny on the damage. Oh! This Forward Spirit has done more than Mitten.
He just died. Oh
yeah, it's okay. He denied the damage. It's fine.
Fair enough. So 25-19 as we near the hour mark. This game
already? Whew.
It's pretty crazy.
It's been good.
It has.
That's a nice one. Question is, are we going to get another?
That's a good point. Only time.
Do you have a feeling?
You know, it really feels like it could go either way. And at this stage, I'm wondering if The double huge team
I
fight
think the
ultimates are
double
enough.
ravage is
Puppy.
the double ravage is kind of scary for me.
Jump, 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 finds it on to 3, not bad at all. Is it gonna be enough though? They have the disruption, able to keep him alive. S4 will go down, but Arteezy is the one to live. They buy back on the tide, and they just are going to back out now. But the BKB used from the Sven, and now Nisha, Refresher used, but no mana for that Chronosphere afterwards.
That is a bit of a problem. Luckily, he's got a Crystal Maiden. So Puppy pumping him back up, almost up to that 300. Just needs a little bit more for the time walk, and he's all good. And we're online. Second Chrono ready to go.
This is one of those moments. You take down S4, he buys back, and now another window. Or if you can take that huge team fight out of the game, gives Secret such a huge lead.
Jeez, S4 does not have any wiggle room for himself, though. Has to be very careful with the arcanes and everything. Just can't mess up, because he's also very close, right? With these anchor smashes and gushes, he could run into trouble. Definitely appreciate the fact that he's gotten rid of the phase boots, right? Because he needs it when he's gone for this.
Refresher, very expensive in the mana department, only 1,100 on that Tidehunter.
Yeah, so just the double pop, just has to ensure he gets it.
And Crit being the one to open up. Arteezy gonna get stunned. Nisha throws out another Chronosphere, but S4 there with the Ravage to turn this one back around. They have the Chronosphere, but can they get it? Oh my god, the Cataclysm! And the second Refresher. Is it gonna be enough though? S4, he's in trouble. He's all alone trying to run away, and is he gonna be able to escape with the BKB wearing off? The answer is looking like maybe, possibly. The Chronosphere that was stolen from Crit to turn it back around, and now the jump forward. They want to take down Crit, able to save his offlaner at the last second.
That cost his buyback, but of course well worth it with S4 not having one. He is out of Ravage for 2 full minutes though, and you've got to think that Secret now should be able to take position here and get themselves around that Roche pit while they still hold the big black hole.
Can you believe it? The turnaround in this game, Secret in the late game are making it happen. They force out over the past couple of minutes 4 buybacks
They've
from
gotten
Evil
the big
Geniuses.
jump. I mean, Bulba knows that's what it's gonna come down to, and it's Secret in the late game who are finding them. Nisha. Fantastic chronos, and he's got another one coming up here in 55 seconds. And of course, that Aegis, I imagine they give it to him. I could see an argument for Zai as well. Maybe even Yapsor, but he's not. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Nisha, because I think if you have Chrono, these fights are just incredibly difficult for EG.
Well, it doesn't even feel like Secret are willing to fully go into the pit as of yet. A little bit too scary just walking in there. Gotta know Ravage. Nisha jumps forward. He finds him. Blink away. Stolen time walk. Tries to jump. Tries to find.
Whoa!
Break. The catch. Is it going to be the kill? They're going to be able to get the black hole turnaround. But where's the damage? They don't have enough. Heal through. Coming through. EG trying to get him. And the break kills onto Zai. Now finding more. The Hex is out as well. Who's that Puppy going down? Almost killed. One more right click. Finishes him off.
Oh, the defensive black hole is not usually the one that you want, but they needed it there for Nisha. All right,
And he stole it. They have it stolen. Crit has black hole ready.
With the Agnum Scepter as well, he's going to get himself a big old Midnight Pulse under there too, and that could bring down the beefiest of heroes. But Nisha, he's back with the double chrono.
The smoke up coming. They're moving right into the pit. And do Secret know? They might not be aware of this.
There's a DD bot. Nisha, how bad do you want it?
They're leaving. Either they don't know or they feel like they can't contest, but with double Chronosphere, you would imagine that they feel like they can go and fight.
They don't seem to.
Not quite
They're
in
scanning.
time.
They know.
And a little bit too late on the draw. Secret are going to give this one up. So Refresher, Aegis, Aghanim Scepter, and a cheese.
So that's 2 black holes, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my god. Double black hole for Crit. Can he do magic? The Graham Aegis. 60 minutes in now, no Puppy for 60 seconds. EG, in the duration of this game, have been able to take down 2 of the racks, but as of yet have not been able to break from Aegis.
We
Nisha.
also have the Agnus picked up first mail too.
All right, Nisha thinking about jumping. He has no vision right now. No vision at all. But they're down on the low ground. Does he spot them out? Not quite. They're behind some trees. And he spots them. He gets Nisha. Soul Catcher already out, looking for the follow-up. Is it going to be good? He doesn't need anything at all. The break. He's in trouble. The slowdown. The second one. Nisha going to get caught. Nisha going to be killed. He has 100 seconds away. Now mid one, trying to run out of there. S4. He has a Ravage back up in a second as well. But they can't quite find him as of yet.
Zai's out of there. He's going down to the wave. No one's in the base.
Look at this. EG, the tier 3 tower.
We have the black hole, we have the refresher, we have the chrono.
They have
Just
a moon
one.
chart on Sven. 5,000 gold lead right now for EG.
Just when it's looking like Secret have figured this one out and gotten those big team fights, it goes right back the other way. The jump is there from S4.
And still a ton of duration left on that black hole for Rubik. They haven't even had to use it yet. And you see the swing back and forth it goes. Back to just about 50-50, 62 minutes in.
Icefrog's having some trouble up there in the booth. He's sliding it left and right, trying to read what's happening.
And you see there the
But it's an
idle
enigma.
talent. Oh. Up on the high grounds.
There's no time for replays. Things are far too dangerous right now. I appreciate this production because you never know.
Could
This
happen.
one moment,
Notice.
especially when S4 blinks into a creep wave.
Jump forward, finds 2. That's a good 2 to get, but the Aeon Disc already proc crit living through this one, trying to find the follow-up. It's going to be there. They take down 1. They are going to possibly... No, they can't get Sumail. He's walking away. They find the finish. The black hole dropped down onto Arteezy. It's not enough. They're trying to run away. Is it going to be enough to break, to catch the control? He time walks out of there, but now the turnaround. Mid-1 coming through with the... Woo! Does it to him. All the combo and no buyback. Team Secret, god damn, you're beautiful. And Sai left over forward. He made it happen for him. No buybacks.
That's it.
Dear Lord, that was beautiful.
They're out of there, and what does it again? It's a little observer ward there on the river that lets Nisha grab that game-winning chrono. It's one thing to cast your spells, but in order to do it, you gotta see the other guy.
Oh. What more can you say after a game like that? Team Secret getting the adoration from the crowd. Shanghai loves these guys.
Shanghai loves the big spells, and I don't blame him. A hell of a game to watch, and a great way to send us towards that game 3. As Puppy is going to march back, he's going to relax, check his hair a little bit, still looking really nice and fly. And mid-one's get, well, much like the game, he's lagging behind a little bit. But in the end, he'll still get there.
Oh, my goodness. Shanghai, the Mercedes-Benz Arena, a packed crowd, loving what they're seeing every minute of it. We're going to head back to the panel, see what they thought about that. Unbelievable. Game number 1. 2, excuse me, I don't even know what's happening.
An incredible way.
Game number 2?
Yeah.
We're hearing a bunch of numbers from them over there. I'm saying, yeah, we got a game 3. Definitely want that. I could go to a game 8,000 with this series right now, Austin.
Absolutely, it's incredible, and I think that some of the things that like BSJ and PPD wanted to be able to point out was the fact that BSJ, you said that win or lose, this game's going to be a lot on Nisha's shoulders on that Faceless Void, right?
Yeah, usually with a Faceless Void type hero, you want somebody who stands in front, kind of serves as a meat shield, almost like forces the enemy team to collapse on that hero so that you can get an opportune chrono and you don't have to start the fight yourself. But what ended up happening over the course of the game, the awkward team fights in the middle were kind of rough for Secret. That's why they got down by 15, 20,000 or so. And then eventually they just used buybacks as their tool to have those meat shields in front. People would just die, and then they'd buy back and start the fight after the chaos ensued. And you get 2-man chronos, 4-man black holes. Eventually, with all these refresh orbs and big ultimates, they're able to hit enough of them eventually. Like, they're going to hit somebody.
Yeah, Peter, Bulba said this is probably going to go late game, and sure it did. What did you think about those closing moments?
I saw Nisha. They showed him on camera missing that chrono.
Yeah.
Man, you almost just lost your team the game. He like smiled and smirked, and then here all of a sudden he's going in and just winning his team the game with that last chronosphere.
Incredible. Rich, what'd you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we got plenty to talk about right now. Definitely excited to see this one go into a game 3, but I heard you guys actually talking about it quite a bit, the idea of basically using somebody to bait and then going in, say, okay, we're going to use the buyback here. We're going to then go in and fight once more. Do you think that that is the story of how they really were able to win here, OD Pixel?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was so crazy, right? I mean, it's exactly as you said, but then you sort of took it to the next level, because normally it's, okay, chrono's down, Black Hole's been used, we'll get back in, but with the refreshers in play at the end of the game, suddenly it was, you had to wait for the double Black Hole to come out, the double chrono before you were able to successfully get yourself back in with a buyback that EG did try and do a few times in that later portions. Honestly, that game, for me at least, that was without a doubt, the best game I've seen so far here at this TI. This is the absolute dream. This is the pinnacle of Dota 2. You have every single bit of team fight that you could hope for. It all came together in an entirely close game. We did not know who was going to take that win until the very last 10 seconds of gameplay.
You know, you could hear the crowd as well. I think that they would agree that this is one of the best games that we've seen thus far. I mean, typically, you know, you really expect the fans to cheer for the home teams, and that's something that we've seen pretty much everywhere we go. All of a sudden, you just get some of the best heckin' Dota that we've seen, and everybody's absolutely freaking out.
Who's not going to cheer for Ravages, Black Holes, Chronospheres, Echo Slams, Rubik all on top of that? You couldn't ask for a better game to watch.
All right, well, we now are going to get to take a quick look at some of the stuff that Casey and Slacks have been up to.
Yeah, honestly, we're supposed to toss to a piece that we're going to in a second, but we're both still so freaking excited about what we You could probably hear us yelling from backstage from all of Shanghai.
Oh, that was crazy. The crowd was nuts. It was absolutely unbelievable. But I gotta say, I worked up a bit of an appetite with that fantastic Dota, huh?
And here's a piece about eating.
That's right. It's a piece where we learn to cook.
Today we're gonna do something very special. I'm sure you ate dumplings before?
Dumplings? Like pot stickers, or?
Just dumplings.
Now, one thing they will tell you to do is wash your hands before you cook.
Did you wash your hands?
Yes, probably.
Just keep doing it.
Get out my anger over certain people in my life.
So what is this?
Soy sauce.
Soy sauce.
So how much do we add? Just follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
Oh.
You should have asked somebody with a healthy heart to follow their heart.
I wish that wasn't so funny.
Ooh.
Excuse you.
There you go. That's a man's dumple.
So we're gonna boil all of them.
I have a little surprise for you guys. I actually brought an American traditional meal, pizza rolls.
Oh, wow.
Now, I do have a little warning for you. I did take it with me on a couple of plane rides, and I don't have a freezer, so these have been in meal room for about 9 days or something.
Smell is actually really bad.
Oh my God, they smell sour.
Oh, God. There we go. Easy. Casey, go ahead.
Gosh, that's so nice of you, but I had a really big brunch, so I really think that you should be the one to eat it.
Well, you know, my father always said, ladies first, so you can start off and then we can finish
Hi,
off
guys.
together.
I'll eat it.
No. I'm sorry, you can't. Okay, so I know that we do a lot of these bits, and sometimes people think that, oh, that was scripted or you did that. I cannot underscore how disgusting those pizza rolls were. Can you
Absolutely.
please be honest about when you put them in your luggage versus when we actually open them up?
Those pizza rolls traveled intercontinentally for 12 days, never seeing a fridge or freezer again. They were in my luggage, and this very suit has not been washed since.
What? Why did you do that?
It's a nice thing. Smell it. Take a big old whiff.
Okay, that's enough. All right.
No,
what are you doing? Stop it!
Come on! On the panel!
Okay, well, I will say it's a little bit un-American of you to at least taste the pizza. That's
What?
American's dumpling.
Are you saying we should have eaten it?
You should have eaten the pizza rolls.
They had not been refrigerated in 14 days.
You don't need to as long as you freeze them at the beginning.
No. There were no. They smelled.
He didn't open the bag. You don't have to put them in the refrigerator. It says refrigerate after opening. He didn't open the bag. It's sealed.
All right, you know what? We're gonna go get some pizza rolls. we're going to make sure that they don't see the light of a refrigerator, and then you can eat them.
Oh.
Sure, yeah, that's fine. I'm starving right now. We've been working our tuchus off, but you know who else has been working their tuchus off? These players, and we should definitely talk about what's in store in game number 3. So we already talked about some of the things that were going on in the first game, and I want to kind of ask if we're going to see more of the same. In that first game of the series, we really were talking about the idea of, okay, is it going to be based around team fights or individual performance? We said that we wanted to see more all the individual players on Secret put under the microscope. They definitely deliver, but also we have just a game of big spells in game number 2. And we also talked about this idea of actually using buybacks to bait quite a bit. Do you think that we can expect more baiting?
Absolutely, and you know what we could definitely expect as well? More surprise picks from Puppey, I think. You know, Bulba mentioned it after the draft, that niche Void. I looked at the stats. We haven't seen that for 7 months. Last brought up in the CQ Major against Liquid. He's only played it sort of 26 times in pro games, and only that once was Secret. The other times were Kinguin and his prior team. So if you're Bulba, you've got to really keep your mind open, because Secret could bring something out that could really trip you up, like it did at the end of game 2.
True, and I do want to say, I mean, this baiting strategy isn't necessarily an easy one to go for, but they were true masters of it. Definitely masters at baiting.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But the biggest thing for me is when you go and have all these giant team fight ultis and you let it go that late game, I'm looking at the team against it. Like, what was EG doing for a certain point when you have all these and all the spells go on cooldown and whatnot? And if you're just playing defensively, you know, waiting for Roshan, doing that over and over again, you're just going to lose eventually.
I think the idea is that Secret was being extremely active with pushing out the side lanes, because ultimately every single fight was happening in the mid lane.
Yeah, but
I don't think I saw another side lane for like 40 minutes.
I think middle lane, when Tide was the only one who had his ulti up, when they were pushing the bait, when they took the melee racks, right? EG took melee racks, there was one ulti up and it was Tide. So no one else had an ulti, no one had a refresher, and they backed up to take Roche after only getting one melee. What does a melee racks mean at 55 minutes in that game? Like, it almost felt like they just played way too passively.
Yeah, it's fair. And I guess some of it may come down to them being not predicting that Faceless Void pick.
And it's just, I mean, it is scary, right? You have an Enigma, an Earthshaker, an Invoker. Like, at a certain point, you're getting hit by spell as they set over on the draft panel. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get hit eventually.
Well, that's the thing. Are you going to get hit by Cataclysm? You know, this Invoker mid-one, he had a very slow game. EG was able to shut him down very early on, and he really struggled to get back in. But if the game goes on and you've got this amount of team fight control next to you, you're going to hit these Cataclysms, and by the end of the game, mid-one, he's just able to be that team fight contribution, sitting at the back, double tapping D, dropping these Cataclysms. People were dying.
Yep.
A fantastic series, and now that we do have a moment here, I do want to kind of talk about what the potential is based on the 2 outcomes that we're going to see. This next game, of course, is going to settle the series. We are completely tied up in our best of 3, but what does the bracket actually look like depending on what happens here, Neil?
You know exactly what happens if Evil Geniuses win. It's EG versus OG. The rematch. Everyone always looks forward to it. We got a little taste of it earlier on in the group stage. But yeah, I need to see it on the stage. I need to see the drama behind it. Yeah, sure, Secret can take it. Secret OG, they have their own story behind them, but I got to see the Evil Geniuses.
And you can take a look right now, folks.
That was great.
Wait, that should have been intended. All the brackets like that from now on?
Can we get that back?
I would actually like if we could put PPD kind of in there, just looking over the bracket right now. But ultimately, when we do take a look, we can start to see what this tournament is going to look like. Already, we know we have an all-Chinese affair on the top side of our upper bracket. That's going to guarantee one of the home teams basically making it through to the final day. Also, a little bit later, when we do jump down to some of these lower bracket matchups, we still do have some more of these teams from that region. But right now, all eyes going to be on EG Secret as we do settle this. Whoever wins this plays against OG. And we've talked a little bit about the matchup, but for anyone who maybe doesn't know the history, Owen, why are we so excited about potentially seeing this?
As I said, you got No Tail and Fly. Obviously, No Tail on OG, Fly on EG. These guys, they were the best of friends. For many years, they did everything together. Yeah. And I mean everything.
Through all of Han, almost all of Han into Dota.
Exactly, and that's exactly what I meant. And then after that point, this breaking point, I believe what happened about the Super Major.
Right before the Super Major.
Right before the Super Major, Fly said no, and he left. And then No Tail, it was up to him to sort of, he did. See, that's the worst bit. You know, you're still leaving, and then if you're taking S4 away from
You
someone,
got custody.
that's just the next level. And obviously, understandable why he did it at the time. OG weren't performing, but we'll forget sort of the reasons, and we'll just stick with the drama because that's what's most entertaining
That's
to see.
what everyone wants, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It definitely is, and we're going to have to keep that in the back of our mind as the teams are getting ready. They're about to jump back into their seats on the main stage. We're going to welcome all of them completely tied up in our series 1-1. This game does decide it. We might have that rematch. We might get to actually settle a little bit of this drama up on the main stage, or we are going to see Secret move on forward. And now, as the players do take the stage right now, I do want to really start to talk about everything that they have accomplished already in this tournament. EG really trying to grab a win here, but are they overperforming thus far in the bracket, Neil, for what you expected?
No, not necessarily. I think this is going to be the make or break for them. Much as how in the BO1s, like, I'm not ready to say that any team made it to main event, oh, suddenly they get my respect. You got to make it through a few teams first before I get impressed. And if they manage to beat Secret, or if Secret manages to beat EG, then I guess that's when you start defining a clear frontrunner. OG is another force to be reckoned with. Both of these teams will not have an easy road against that because no one's given a solution to OG's core IO yet.
Yeah, and now we can actually take a deeper look at what EG actually expects. We have an interview with them and Casey.
Okay, if you could interview yourselves, what would you ask?
What time did I wake up this morning?
Boy, that is genius. Why didn't I think of that?
I think this sofa is meant for 2 people.
It is. I didn't know there were going to be 3 of you.
My butt is stuck on.
Oh, God, I've worked with people like you. So, Fly, I'm curious, how much do you guide your teammates to look back and learn from mistakes versus not holding on to the past and just focusing on what's ahead?
There's always something to learn both from failure and success. So I like to look at both because sometimes people forget why they win and why they're good. So I definitely try to look at both things. And I think we were one of the best teams at the previous TI, and there's a lot of good things that we did that we actually, coming into training here, we looked back and like, oh, wow, you know, we just did certain things really well, and we'd like to do that again.
I believe like it's true that many teams, they forget why something is successful, and you know, sometimes you have to take some moments to reflect on why you think something was working.
I'm curious how each of you would rate your performance at TI8 now that you've had some space to look back on it.
As a team, 9 out of 10.
Why not 10 out of 10?
Because we didn't win.
But you think you did everything that you possibly could to?
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll hop on the bandwagon. Yeah, 9.
Smart.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you wish that you had done differently?
Probably the last day, my friends.
The last day. Maybe play it a bit better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good track record, pretty much the entire event.
Mm-hmm.
And then we lost an upper bracket match, and then we managed to like kind of fight back. And then we lost to LGD in a fashion which I think was not very characteristic of us during that tournament. So, of course, we all wish that we had a better series.
You didn't make any roster changes right after TI. I'm curious why, because a lot of people, that's a really popular time for people to kind of take a look at personnel and see what works and what doesn't.
Because we formed the team 2 months prior to TI. And before going to TI, we already had made up our minds that we're not going to switch rosters, even if we like get 16th place, let's say. And then we did end up doing really well. So there was no reason for us to change maybe after this TI.
Who are you kicking after this TI?
I don't know. We don't know yet.
Okay.
Of course, after finishing 3rd place and being a pretty new team, it seemed kind of unnecessary to change roster.
I'm curious about your thoughts of this TI being in China for the first time.
I mean, I think it's great that it's in China. I think there's a lot of Chinese fans and players and like really great teams from here, so it only makes sense that they also get to experience it, because you know the feeling of playing at TI and for the crowd as well is, you know, like no other tournament. I'm also excited to hopefully, you know, play on the main stage against Chinese teams and see how, you know, the crowd gets. It's going to be good. How would you compare how you are as a team today compared to going into TI8? How are you better? We've been able to tackle some of our problems recently, and we're going to be better for it. And that's kind of what matters in the end, because if you started off great and you kind of like so-so during the year, but as long as you're able to fix what you had to fix or tackle it, then you're going to become much stronger than you were the previous year. So hopefully that happens this time.
Is it more difficult to get to TI now than ever before?
For the top teams, no, I would say. Like if you're consistent and you're at the top, you get rewarded more for it now. Maybe you have like a couple of months where you're down. It's not like you're going to miss TI because of that anymore.
What is your favorite part of TI?
It's like prestigious to be here, and everybody that is there for a reason. So I like the idea that it's basically all these teams, like the 18 teams that are putting their full focus into the game, and you get to like compete against each other. Just that idea is really cool for me.
Thanks, guys.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Nice.
Are you done?
Nice content. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
In the interviews we've seen for both of these teams now, Casey really focusing on the idea of how's your team changed up to this TI, because we're no strangers to these squads, and it really is important to actually have that moment of reassessing everything and trying to figure out how do you get better. How do you, for some of these players, win your second TI? How do you become the first player to ever manage to do that? And from what we heard in this interview, they're definitely thinking about these improvements as well. Have we seen that throughout the year, though, in your mind, Grant?
I think for Secret, they've been the best the entire year. So it's really hard to look at them coming into this TI, right? You're one of the favorites. I think it was probably them, VG Gaming, and LGD are like the three favorites coming in this. And EG, right? Third places. That's the whole thing until the last major where they got, what, second to last or 9th, 12th or whatever. And it felt really bad. But then they came into this TI, they had a rough first day. And now, I mean, it's looking like they are another top 3 team here possibly with the last couple games.
And I like the emphasis on roster consistency. Obviously, they said that after TI8, we were a relatively fresh team. There's no real incentive for us to start shuffling around players. And that was something that North America has been guilty of for a very long time. As soon as you don't get the performance that you want, you're just like, let's just mix things up. But we're seeing here all the best teams, your Virtus Pros, your Secrets, your PSG LGDs, and your EGs. These are teams that value being able to stick together with the same group of people. Maybe you might trade out a coach every once in a while, but even then, you see the value of sticking together with a squad.
You always need fresh ideas sometimes. Like, you can always be the 5 same players, but sometimes, if it's not clicking or something happens, like, you do need a fresh idea in there sometimes, and I think that's where, changing a coach might work.
Right.
Yeah, you don't have to necessarily break up all of the synergies that you've worked towards, but you can start to have that new, fresh thought push you outside of your comfort zone and also makes you a little bit less predictable as well. But when we talk about EG not having the best performance most recently when they are actually headed here into TI, do you think that is somewhat of a throwaway? Do you think you can say, okay, that was just a bad tournament, or do you think it was a sign?
No, I think you can separate it, because for a lot of these teams, you have to remember that TI is just approached in an entirely different manner. You just compare the prize pools; it's night and day. It's such a vast difference that a lot of these teams, when they turn up, it's the reason why you sort of see teams like VP, right? They had a pretty good season. You expect them to sort of blow us away on the main stage. They had some really rough games in the groups. They had a rough showing in their first series yesterday on the main stage themselves. A team like EG, sure, previous major, they didn't look too hot, but you look back at their TI performance, historically, obviously TI8 coming third, now coming into this one. Sure, even in game 2, just now, where they dropped the game, they still look to be on the top of their game. That game could have gone anyone's way.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you really think that is maybe just people that have been up on this stage before being more prepared for it? Because we have also seen some of these newcomers really looking relatively comfortable up on the main stage.
Yeah, it's true. I still think, you always want to have that, I've been here, I know what it's like. Like, Nisha, sure, he still looks great, but you never know. This game 3, all of a sudden, he could just crumble. Obviously, he hasn't yet, but it's always better to have experience, right? No one wants to be inexperienced.
That's true, but oftentimes I find that whenever a South American squad like Infamous comes, you come in, you've got nothing to lose. You're just happy to be here. They had one goal in mind. All they wanted to do was just place higher than any other South American team ever has, and they accomplished that. And whenever you come in with that devil-may-care attitude, and you're just happy to soak in the crowd, see the experience, just be flown out all across the world, I think that has a little bit of its own charm as well.
But they aren't losers, and this is probably the highest tier winner bracket match of probably the event so far, it feels like.
Definitely. And I feel like when we do look at that lower bracket, because that lower bracket definitely going to be coming into play a lot more tomorrow as well. We're going to have some matches in it to round out the day. But you start thinking about which of these teams can make a run. Is it going to be someone with a lot of experience, or is it potentially going to be one of these things? It's really exciting to actually look at it and look at a new generation of players and say, hey, they can really just throw some of these players for an absolute run. Maybe they're not getting the respect that they necessarily deserve, but once you're up here on the TI stage, I think you definitely do get it.
That's what a lot of people thought about Thompson last year.
Just
He was just a pub star. You know, he's building Meteor, Hammer, and Invoker. People would joke literally in his chat and be like, OG Thompson, you know, when's that going to happen?
Well, no, exactly. I remember Kyle, right, infamously said about, you know, he joked about Thompson. You know, the fact that the OG were overrating Thompson.
Right.
You know, they're like, why are they picking up a pub player? And then he goes and wins TI. So really, there are players out there. I do believe still that there are more Thompsons.
I mean,
you know,
Mind Control TI7, right?
Control
Like
as well.
exactly. Like the guy just literally only played in-house leagues, was the top player at in-house leagues like 6 months in a row. You pick him up, and oh wait, he is really that good, no matter where you put him at.
Even though that newbie true side, the TI7 true side at the very end, was just like, the Chinese translation was like, it's your first TI, you can't expect to win. You're not a god or something like that. And then in comes Top God himself winning it easy.
And you think about, and obviously, like, we have some people who can speak to it very well. I mean, some of them going to be over on that draft panel. What do you actually think of a player that you haven't played up against before? How do you actually prepare for that matchup when it is a tournament like TI? Are you going to actually try to watch a lot of VOD on them? Are you just going to go with what you know and just try to beat the team? It is a really interesting dynamic, and I think that sometimes it does favor the younger player. If they have that attitude, like, I mean, when we heard those interviews, they were just like, yeah, we don't care who we're playing against. We don't necessarily look up to anyone. We love the game. We're here to play the game. And I know if I was standing next to a player that I've watched forever, I'd probably pee my pants, let alone playing against them, right? I mean, I already mentioned yesterday, I don't know if you guys read, but when I met Dendy, I did like pee my pants just a little bit. It's Dendy, you know? I grew up watching the guy. I tried to ask him to shake my hand and just flew it. It was not what I was like, you know what I mean? And to actually get into the booth and to play against someone like, imagine playing against somebody like Sumail if you're just coming up as a new player. Like, you've watched him get a chip, you've watched him win a TI. I can't imagine what that would be like for a player.
I mean, I 1v1 Sumail back in the day, back when he was first joining EG.
Taught him everything he knew.
We ran 10 1v1s, and I did indeed. It was all SF versus SF, and I did beat 2 of them. So, you know.
Wow. Could have been up there, Grant. What happened? Why are you here with us?
You know, I decided you guys are a great bunch of people, and also I'm trash at Dota.
You went a different route. You definitely did, but we're happy you're here.
It's very weird to consider that out of the entire EG squad, Sumail is still the least experienced player, even though they've been there for, like, all those players have been there for so long.
Yeah, I mean, him and Arteezy, right? That's the thing, like, because Arteezy, you know, he had that break on the Secret even before that when he was on some weird, like, KP stacks,
That's
like
right.
TI3. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we've talked about this matchup quite a bit. Now we are ready to get it started. Team Secret versus Evil Geniuses. It's all going to be settled in this game.
Versus Evil Geniuses. Game 3.
It all comes down to this game 3 now between Evil Geniuses and Team Secret. And I've got BSJ and PPD to be able to break down the draft. Peter, I actually wanted to start with you. They actually had the conversation in there about being able to bring up a new player. And you obviously had that experience with Sumail. What's it like to be able to pull somebody new into the competitive scene and kind of mold them into the professional player?
I mean, a lot of times the older players actually learn quite a lot from the younger players, and I mean, I disagree with just about everything said over there on the panel. But it's, I don't know. It's like, you know, you keep a team together, but sometimes a roster change is nice. Sometimes, like, you know, the reason why these teams stick together is because the players work well together and they don't have issues amongst each other. The hardest competitor out there, you know, is inside you and the 4 other teammates in your booth. The hardest thing about being on a team is playing as a team, and the teams that play best together go the farthest. And I think that a lot of people, you know, Rich is sitting there talking about people peeing their pants because they're too scared of the people in the, or they're too nervous or whatever it is. But the reason why that these players play on this stage is because they don't care who's in the other booth. They believe and have confidence in themselves that they are the best Dota players, and that's what they're here to prove.
I think being a part of a team is almost like a relationship, and there's some times that there's just things you can't come back from, and that's why changes are necessary. Sometimes things don't mesh, sometimes there's tension between players. There's so much that can go wrong in Dota. It's such a high-stress game, and it's not always clear-cut what went wrong. Like, two different players on the same team can have a different perspective of why you lost a game, and that just creates so many natural ways to have tension between players.
Sorry to interrupt, but
No,
we got
good.
a dynamic going on here. Eegee's dipping into the reserve time. Enchantress still in the pool, but Secret banned Leshrac. So will EG have another answer for this first pick Enchantress, or is Bulba going to ban it?
And I'm sure the Tidehunter came as a bit of a surprise ban as well, right? You don't oftentimes see this in the first 3.
It's a strong hero, but Secret decides they just don't want it in the game.
It's annoying to play against.
I think Secret was outdrafted those first 2 games. I think that last game, that was EG's to lose, man. I hope they're not too shaken up.
And this is going to leave, because of these sort of bans, the Leshrac and the Tide heroes that we don't typically see. There's going to be some heroes out there in the pool that we don't normally see be left out there.
What is 1:15 left on the reserve time? Make up your mind, Bulba. What is going on?
Maybe the mouse disconnected, you know? Oh, the Earthshaker.
Okay.
They've left Enchantress then. Maybe they think that's like a crucial part of the Enchantress's like early game to have that Earthshaker fissure block. Oh.
I think that this hero was banned.
I think both games
in the previous games.
Yeah.
So that hero's slipping through. Shaker going out.
Ogre's a #1 hero that comes to mind as a combination with Mirana.
Was Shaker that scary last game? I mean, YapzOr did some work, but not until like 30 minutes plus.
It definitely took a while for him to show up to the game.
The hero's kind of slow. A lot of 4 players I've talked to actually don't really like Shaker that much, and that's maybe why we've seen it be more popular in the 3 position. Is like, you know, you get at that farm priority. Otherwise, as a 4 position, you kind of want these heroes with that natural initiation. We've seen some Treant, we've seen some Nyx, Earth Spirits, you know, these ranged heroes, Pod and Wind Ranger. Like, they don't really need this, you know, 2K gold item that they're like, oh guys, I'm gonna farm top lane for a bit. They just keep going and going and going, and Shaker kind of needs a little startup. And EG's actually gonna get the Ench here on 2nd pick. I think this hero's fantastic.
Now going to be enabled by the Shadow Demon, 2nd pick.
They've kind of block picked this Ogre, right? With the double purge. We talked about with the Magnus Empower early on in the tournament. You can purge the Empower, and I think we've seen the Enchantress against the Ogre where you just purge the Bloodlust.
Yeah, forget Ogre. That hero's like kind of like a cool first pick for some teams because they're willing to play it on 3 or 5 or 4. But once it gets past like this first phase of the draft and nobody goes for it, I think the hero kind of loses a lot of. You might be able to pick it, you know, EG could potentially pick it out the 2nd phase.
Do you think Mirana fulfills that role already, that kind of flex first pick that gives you a lot of options?
I think when you first pick Mirana, I think that you've already committed to that hero being a 4 position.
Okay, there's no other options for you.
The hero just doesn't really have great matchups. I think we saw Fnatic. I mean, they beat my team with it, but, you know, a lot of people beat my team with a lot of things this tournament. But we saw Fnatic play it on the safe lane. Most teams, I think, put it mid lane. We had Fada playing it quite a lot for us as well. It's just, as the draft progresses, you're never thinking like, oh, Mirana's getting like, he's becoming such a better mid laner this game. It's like, it's kind of this hero you pick maybe 8-9, and you just say, okay, like go mid, arrow the range creeps, you know, you catch up, do some jungling.
And you've got a nice pairing with it to be a 4 position, right? This 3 position Sand King, great combo.
Yeah, it's a strong lane. You either have some kill potential on the lane, or Pot can just go arrow some jungle camps, get that bottle to start, you know, playing the rune game. I'm curious what their Ench killer will be though. It's going to come later in the draft. It's probably going to be on Nisha's hero, I would guess.
So in your head, is Sand King just not enough damage to be able to deal with the Enchantress?
No, definitely not. I think a lot of these Enchantresses in the offline, I think they go for that hood, that self item to keep themselves alive, and then if they even need more survivability, they'll go for a 4-staff. If they need armor, they'll go Medallion into Solar Crest, and their whole entire goal is to create this barrier between their teammates and the enemy, so that way, when they go on the Ench, it takes a ton of commitment to kill her, and then they can counter-initiate.
And also, if you manage to keep the Ench alive, the other team on the retreat, that's when Enchantress does most of the damage, right?
Definitely.
I don't think it's usually Enchantress's team going on them and Enchantress wailing on the enemy team. It's the Enchantress getting gone on and then surviving.
It's scary. You're thinking, can we kill the Ench?
Yeah.
Do we have enough to kill the Ench?
Nerve-wracking.
And then, oh, she's at 200 HP, and now she's healing back up to full, and she's throwing impetus as you're, you know, everybody's scattering in all directions.
Especially if you have a save mechanism, which they have in the Shadow Demon. She gets off Nature's Attendance, gets saved by Disruption, she comes back, boom, she's got a good 300, 400 health more.
Yeah. Well, what we saw in EG's first game, where they actually managed to defeat the Enchantress, is they had enough power to threaten the Ench early, so that way she couldn't play in their face. And then eventually, as the game got later, Enchantress started to fall off, and then they just got their BKBs, and they had this AoE damage that, you know, kind of put her down. And we've seen these Potoms go this Aghanims on a lot of these 4 positions, and that's a ton of magical burst damage. Even in E-Blade later, the Dagons, right? They're definitely going to have some damage with this hero.
So is that a 3 mag 4? Like,
this is definitely going to be a crit Magnus, a fly Shadow Demon, and an S4 Enchantress. And there's the Ogre.
I don't know if I like the Ogre pick. I think Evil Genius has purposely picked Enchantress Shadow Demon to kind of block that.
Well, Ogre does have a decent laning phase against Enchantress. He has a lot of armor, natural regen. He can tank a lot of right clicks. I don't like it that much myself either, to be completely honest. But I can see the direction. He definitely can man up and fight against the Shadow Demon and the Magnus, so they'll have a hard time helping out. But the Mag and Power plus the Enchantress right-clicking away, it might be too hard for Team Secret to deal with in their safe lane.
I thought they might go for some counter initiation on the RP. So far, I haven't seen that, right? Usually, when I say counter initiation, yeah, you have Sand King, but whoever gets some power is going to have a BKB, and you want some natural way to either make it hard to RP you with a hero like Slark, or make it so that you can disrupt the RP once it happens.
EG once again going for their mid hero before the final pick of the game, picking up Sumail's Ember Spirit, similar to his last track. This is a hero that he's played a million times and he's really excelled on. I'd be curious to see if the Slark maybe try to go match up mid lane against the Ember Spirit. We've seen infamous Chris Luck notably taking the Slark mid lane a couple times. Even we saw mid one. Actually, yeah, maybe it's a mid one Slark.
Yeah, I was thinking it's most likely a mid Slark for the good matchup mid. And
remember the hood mid one Slark?
Yeah,
right? The Hood of Defiance.
Eternal Envy coined that, man.
No, let's not. Okay, fair enough. I mean,
gotta give credit where it's due, even if
sure.
EG going to take out. They agree with you. They say, hey, this is probably going to be a mid one Slark, so we're going to take out a safe laner that does deal with Enchantress. We're going to go back to that Gyrocopter ban. What's left when it comes to dealing with this Enchantress, or have we done enough?
I think they need a hero that can sustain up against it. There's a lot of people like Sven because he has the opportunity to go jungle early. He also has high armor. He can kind of, you know, he can weather the storm of the early game Enchantress. There's the Void ban, which, I mean, I think supports my theory of Sven being the last pick here.
It's also really good against Slark and Mirana, though. And they have no save. I think it would have been really annoying to deal with the Void.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I agree. I
don't necessarily know if that bodes against their last pick, you know? It could just be to block what already is good against what they have.
Yeah, I haven't seen RTZ play Void yet this tournament, but that hero has been rising in popularity. Not only Nisha winning the last game with it, but we've seen Ame from LGD playing it, and I'm not sure who else has played it. It's won a couple games, though. They got a ton of reserve time to decide on this last pick.
Is PA just, like, too crazy here? Is that too slow?
PA is... that hero's really slow. That being said, if the hero does get through laning phase, it's a pretty good PA game. It's very good against Ench. Can kill Ench. It's also really good against Ember. Ember actually really doesn't like playing against high physical damage burst heroes. And Weaver, wow.
There's some more physical damage for you.
This hero is actually really good in lane against Enchantress. You can stay there quite a while. You can buy an early bottle, have a ton of sustain. You can even go, I don't know if you go Linken's, but I was saying if you do go Linken's, you get early ring of health.
I wouldn't be surprised if he buys a Manta this game. Usually I've seen Weavers go one survivability item. I don't think Linken's does anything for you.
Yeah, he probably wants a way to get out of those roots from Ember, right?
Yeah.
A minute to decide for Evil Geniuses. They need something that is going to pair up still with the Empower while simultaneously being able to deal with these slippery agility cores that Team Secret have picked up 4-5.
Yeah, we go from last game, which was Wombo combo team fight, and now Team Secret has virtually no team fight, only Sand King, and they have a bunch of mobile, elusive, like you said, pick off, wave clear, and I don't think we're going to see... The goal of this game for Secret is to not give EG the team fight they need, right, with this Magnus RP. But then at the same time, a lot of teams have just been valuing the Empower of Magnus more so than the team fight that it represents. it's almost going to be a farm race. While there's a lot of, it's going to be a lot about the split push pressure on the map.
I wonder. I'm trying to think of a carry that Arteezy could play here that works, and I'm just not sure I can. I'm not sure I can think of one. Is it possible that Arteezy would play Ember Spirit, and they pick a new mid for Sumail?
You could just go something like Tiny. They go PA themselves.
Going for it. All right, Mag PA. We'll see if they can.
Sure.
Yeah, let's see if they can take it into the late game. PA needs a lot of farm.
A hero that can jump on some of these agility cores, look to be able to blow them up before they slip away. BSJ, do you like that last pick?
I think PA is a really good matchup against Slark, as long as the Slark doesn't take over the mid game too much. And if they able to create space for him, which kind of hard to know with the Ember Spirit versus this Slark mid. I believe in the EG draft, though. I like it more so than the Secret draft.
It's surprising considering you are the Slark aficionado, but we do have Casey, who now has an interview with Sunby.
All right, thanks, guys. How you doing, Sunby? How are you doing after those games? Very long, really tough.
Very tense. Still a little bit nervous watching the game because things went places where it shouldn't have, I feel. But I'm glad we came out on top. I feel good about it.
It's got to be hard as the coach when you're back behind the scenes and you can hear your team talking to each other as they're playing, and there's nothing that you can do.
Right, but I mean, that part's no different. Hearing their communication is actually kind of nerve-wracking, but it's also relieving that they're talking about the right things, they're doing the right things as it's happening, so it feels good. It's great.
How did that inform your decisions with the draft, and how do you feel you did going into Game 3?
I'm not really sure how to answer that. Whatever happens, I think it was very positive. No, I feel confident. I think we'll do well, no matter what.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Casey. Yes, we have run the gamut with this series. It has all happened. Craziness, historical moments, and now a game number 3. Trent, it had to end this way. It had to.
It had to. It had to, of course. You don't want it any other way. We came up here hoping for a Game 3. Does that make us biased? I think so. I mean, finally we're hoping for something when we're casting. We're allowed to go after one thing, and that's always going to be the Game 3. We want more opportunities for these players to shine. We want more of those beautiful moments that you get. That's what TI is all about.
Absolutely. And as we hop into this game number 3, it can't help but feel like it might end up running into the same type of issues that we've seen previously, where you sit around for a while, you get your farm going, but Mag PA, that to me, it's a backbreaker from time to time if you can hit those big RPs and make the combos happen.
Yeah, it always feels good when you kind of seem to be the alpha carry in a game when you're PA, you know? Like, eventually, I got this. Now, I don't know if he's going to get a rapier like some of these other wild carries out there like on me, but I'm hoping so.
Oh, absolutely. That is sort of the be-all, end-all. We saw it with the Aghanim Scepter, kind of a unique build for anybody that missed those games earlier. The Aghanim Scepter PA into Rapier. One of the craziest builds ever. He got it even when they were ahead.
It's become very common, though. I mean, I keep seeing this Aghanims on the PA games. I think it's become a staple of the build that the effect on the blur is just crazy. She's already so annoying to play against, but having that instant cast time as well as the dispel, can't forget about that, is very handy.
And see already kind of an interesting ward place down for EG, wanting to scout the rotations from Secret.
I like Sumail there. You can't see me. Trying to be as elusive as possible on the Ember, and Flya ever so excited to play some more shouting. That looks like a face Rich would make if they asked for a photo.
True enough. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we need to take a little bit of a breath and reset after that last game. The panel was able to talk for a while about it, but it did kind of just feel like one of those games that how do you recover for that as EG afterwards? It's going to need to just come in and I guess play entirely different heroes and put it behind you.
Yeah, definitely something that maybe Bulba focusing on there, right? The mental effort there is Crit able to out-click Nisha. Very difficult against those core players. Yeah, they love the spam, but Crit, he's got it. You know, this guy, he plays a mean troll, too.
That's the only bounty rune they were able to get, though. Secret picking up the other 3 on the rest of the map.
Yeah, it's very scary up top, right? You have Sand King, Mirana. Very good setup for the arrow. And the setup overall isn't incredible this game. Their last pick, you know, that OD sitting there. I'm sure they were probably tempted by it, but they allowed me to keep that Slark in the mid lane. Mid one wanted that instead for this matchup. And looking to have a very good mid game here in timing with Nisha. They don't really have like the alpha carry, right? If I had to pick who's going to come out on top if this game just keeps on rolling, I got to go with Arteezy, especially when he's dealing.
Sumail steals the tree and then eats another one afterwards.
Can't do that now.
Not sure what that was all about, but mid one getting hurt a little bit there. I mean, he He dropped the tree and ate another one afterwards, right? Is that crazy?
I didn't see. Sorry, I was too busy in my own world.
Well, nonetheless.
But by the way, our crowd reacted. It sounded like it. Whoa!
Uh-oh, S4.
There they go again.
Puppey gonna beat him down. That Orb of Venom.
Yeah, now Crit's trying to find a skewer here. He's got the angle.
Looking for the moment. Get on back over here, buddy, but not within the tower range. Still gonna be able to body block here. S4 trying to trade hits, but that is a big tanky ogre who does not care about the little enchantress. Man, but looking across these lanes, everything fairly good for Secret early on. As they have 7 last hits on.
Oh, that arrow.
Woo! Barely off the mark. Sumail dodges away from that.
Man, so chill. I can't believe there's no tips after that. The chat wheeling, the tipping, the high fives, those have gone by the wayside. Now that we've moved into game 3. You know, game 1, everyone's so happy-go-lucky, hoo-hoo-hoo. Not so much now, very silent.
Both teams, obviously, with a ton on the line. And feeling like they need to make this play happen as another YapzOr rotation towards the mid lane. That was scouted out, the Arcane Rune, and they should know that the Mirana's in the area. In fact, Crit's going to come in and see if he can find a skewer play. YapzOr over in the trees. They run into him, and that will stop the pressure.
He can just chase him, right? If he's just keeping vision on YapzOr, the game is going better for EG. Stop him from getting kills, even try and block him from airing neutral, steal some of his XP. Crit, his only role this game is to empower.
And that is something.
There's a high five. You know, oh, thanks for the XP, buddy.
Well done. Oh, top lane again, bottom lane again. S4 gonna get caught and gonna go down. So Nisha finding the kill.
Yeah, they have their own answer for this Ench, right? Of course, already playing it early in the series. They know how to try and get through that damage in the laning stage. As YapzOr will shoot another arrow, but hit the miss once again. Just stealing some farm from his mid laner. Oh, I missed him. Sorry. Tactics coming out here from YapzOr. I mean, we all know what he does.
That's true.
To get the gold.
Gotta do what you gotta do to make it happen. But you can see that the big loser so far in this lane is gonna be S4 right now. Only 1 last hit in comparison to the 20 and 13. As mid lane, mid 1, going to be able to jump away from Crit. And this is something I'm maybe a little bit concerned about. In both of the previous games, EG looked very good with Crit getting a ton of farm. And not really like it's going to be the case in this game as Nisha bloodlusted up.
Yeah, S4. He's just level 2. So Nisha easily able to harass through him there with the 1-1-1 build. Now YapzOr gonna be found out again here. More XP dished out to his opponents.
Sumail's just chasing him. I mean, the wave is pushing at the very least, so this isn't going to be that many last hits lost unless mid 1 can keep track of the lane, and that's going to keep it in a better position.
But they do want to get some stacks off while they're here though, right? So Fly's going to get the double as he's passing through. Very nice. Very efficient with these from EG.
Yeah, in the previous games.
Oh, empty mana pool for Puppey. Canceled by Crit. Very good stuff there. The last thing you need is just more spam onto S4 as he tries to deal with Nisha.
And all lanes right now going incredibly well for Secret. This is the Secret that we were expecting to see coming into this. 2,000 gold lead at 4 minutes.
Yeah, and it's pretty clear when you just look at the last hits where it's all coming from, right? I mean, they have 3 cores farming.
Oh, and they got Sumail in the mid lane, gonna trade hits, but still not enough. He took some tower shots, and now instead it's gonna be mid 1 in trouble. Chase down 1 more hit, that's all they need. And with the salve up, it's not enough. Mid 1 goes down.
And Crit hands it over to Sumail as well there.
And on the other side, Fly got Zai. So all the lanes going great, and a couple of kills just given away.
Yeah, had the sentry prepped, and I guess Zai trying to outplay him there. Now S4 as well. The Timbersaw actually has reached level 3, so much harder to deal with. Puppey goes in for the bounty rune. Might cost him his life.
Feels like it's well worth it indeed if they can get it. As the skewer back onto Puppey, body blocked in, and Sumail just keeps running around at level 5. No fear, no cares about the mid lane. I mean, there's nobody hitting CS in there, but he's just getting kills.
Up top as well. Looks like Zai's under the tower. Oh, they missed the arrow.
Good blink away there from Artur, and going to keep the pressure back away from her. You can see the strength of the Sand King. In spite of that death, still 36 CS here.
And look how it just goes right back up too, right? Because the last hits, they're still stacking on Secret's side. right up to that 2K even after losing 2 heroes.
Definitely.
Oh, good sentry there. Catches the observer where there was placed down by Fly.
He's going to try and go for another round of stacks here. Should be able to pick up both of them. Sumail looking to maybe get another, but not quite going to get there in time. So it is just going to be the 2 stacks. Still quite good.
Man, they are all over this, though. Something that Secret just has not been employing in this series so far. Now Crit's coming through. It's only level 1 in power, though. So, sorry, but that's all I got. Oh, and there you go.
He stole one of them, but now they know. Sentry Ward drop down for Fly does not scout out. It's just a YapzOr knowing where they were going to be.
I feel like Crit's inevitably going to feed here. He's like trying to get as many levels as he can, but a level 6 Slark is very spooky. A single point in the pounce is still 2.5 seconds. That thing has a serious value point at level 1.
Yeah. And mid one wisely keeping the creep wave as close to his hill as possible, while Crit just tries to soak up what he can. And in the meantime, you can see Sumail here farming up, taking a good amount of damage, but he clears through those stacks. And I mean, he's almost top of the net worth because of it. You talked about it. Mid lane, leashing onto Crit.
He's still worried about the skewer, right? He doesn't know what kind of follow-up is there, so has to just let him go. He would have to commit the ult if he wanted to go for the whole kill. Plus he, well, now he has 2 points at the dark pack too, I suppose.
Meantime, Zai turns a burrow strike onto one, the arrow, but the disruption is there. And that will stop some of the aggression at the very least, as RTZ just gets the blink away afterwards.
S4's game still very difficult now. Almost half the net worth of Zai at this point from the Sand King.
So how concerning is this early game for Evil Geniuses? They're 2,000 gold down at about 7.5 minutes. Do the stacks make up for it at all?
They're going to be a dual core kind of a game, very akin to what happened with Secret in the first game. I mean, okay, that was kind of just a solo core of just Nisha on the Wraith King, but S4, I don't know how much you can expect from him, frankly, this game. I think that he's already kind of not set up for the best looking game, right? Simply because of he got picked so early. He doesn't have a lot of control to work with. It's mostly going to be Sumail getting those big bolas to help him put the damage out.
Yeah. Well, and Puppy does manage to get the TP out of there. Sumail already getting very active on this hero. Ember Spirit rotating at level 5, not something that you often see, but did mean that he was able to pick up 2 kills off of it.
Yeah, that's an 8-minute Midas now for mid one. No boots, just Wraithband, Midas. Flashing it in that mid lane for all to see. Meanwhile, now Zai, you can see, got a big item himself too. That Veil complete. And pretty scary stuff here for a PA who's sitting this low. Has to respect the potential arrow that could come from YapzOr. They don't have a lane ward either, so he's not sure how many heroes are here from Secret.
You can see this rotation coming from Puppy. Fly is nearby to help out, but he's gonna need help himself, it looks like, as Zai spots him out.
Man, that arrow is way...
And they get him. But S4 actually rotating in. He still has the swarm on him and is going to turn now onto Zai, but Zai able to eat away the sentry ward that was down. Really heads up play there, but Zai walking back into a sentry ward on the other side, and well, that one is not going to be able to make his escape, although Zai walks away from
another.
And look at all this damage that's building up. They kill off RTZ. They do bring down the Sand King, but lose their carry in turn. And Sumail now trying to make something happen, see if he can kill off Puppy. Another round of impetus. S4 trying to run away. He's taking a lot of damage. They do kill off the Ogre. Mid one shows up as well now. A flurry of action.
Doesn't have the leash though. Need the arrow.
Connects. Well played. YapzOr making it happen, but able to get that remnant out. They did not have the pounce for the follow-up.
Yeah, no shrine ready though. So that's going to be EG licking their wounds for quite a while. And yeah, that damage coming from Zai, just not able to Quelling Blade the other sentry, but then setting up for another arrow there from YapzOr, who's having a pretty good start here. 0-0-2, not really telling the full story of how much pressure he's been putting onto EG, as now Nisha takes the tower right in Arteezy's face, and Shikuchi's back in time for the bounty.
And the net worth lead continues to grow, 5,000 now, into the favor of Secret, who are just doing everything right.
And we talked about how there's this late game threat for sure from EG. I mean, they're getting all these stacks. There's some net worth sitting inside their jungle, but what if they get pressured? What if Secret come in here and take this all away from you? Then your game's just done.
Yeah, true enough. It is a little bit different though, at the very least, since mid one went for this Midas. Might be a little bit slowed down on the pressure, but these heroes just naturally come online faster, and that's where the Sand King really comes into play.
YapzOr here, but I don't think there's any follow-up. Yeah, he's just kind of leaped his way out of there after the disruption. Yeah, once he takes this tower, he's just heading in there. I think he's just going to make this his home. and try and force Arteezy as well as Sumail down to that dire triangle instead.
Thankfully for EG, Sumail is going to be able to finish off those stacks. Clears through them with the help of the Empower. But now the question is, how do Secret invade the jungle? They have a smoke going to be switched back over into the inventory. Takes a moment.
Look at this. The gang.
They're just hanging out, man.
They got the smoke. Here we go.
They know where Sumail's going to be, and they're heading right there.
Yeah, they have an observer ward down bottom that's seeing where Arteezy's farming.
Scan as they walk up to high ground. Sumail, does he have a remnant out? Doesn't look like it. He throws one now, but Puppy is going to sit on that.
All right, here we go. The force the fire blast, the arrow.
An arrow comes out. It's all done perfectly, and it looks like they find the kill on Sumail.
Tic-tac-toe.
Dude, Secret just worked them.
What a setup there from Secret. They are just firing here. 5K lead, 5-5, but it ain't even.
No. 5,000 gold lead. That's the other 5 that's hanging out to the side. Now, granted, EG have ridiculous physical damage if they can find that control. The other problem that they've really got is just this Enchantress has not been able to get that much done.
Well, you said before, Crits had these incredible games, and you give him the mag, and it's tough, right? Even if he finds this RP, that's once every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't a flashy hero for him that can get things moving across the map. He has to wait, you know? He has to rely on Sumail and Arteezy to carry him.
This could be good, though, if they can get this catch on the mid one.
Can they, though?
They're thinking about it. Disruption to open up, and now Arteezy moving in. They need a lot of damage, but yeah, Shadow Dance just walks away. And
you always get one.
That's both of your cores.
Time to get the dust. Fly plants down his last sentry and says, I need some last hits here, guys, because dust is expensive.
Well, that is going to be 5-5. That one with the Moonlight Shadow able to escape and now go for initiation afterwards. Dodges the arrow, but Fly just walks into it.
Man, it is such an expensive game here for the supports, and this is not a GPM hero here for Fly, not a GPM hero here for Crit, so you need Dust for everybody else, you need Sentries for the Slark because of the Dark Pack. How are you going to keep tracking this Moonlight Shadow? Plus, you've got the limit on the Sentries, which is another reason why Mirana has started to become a little bit more powerful of a hero. Now smoked up again here, getting very aggressive. Oh, that slight hit a few more than he expected. And he got out of there.
Immediate reaction. That's the blink reveal. So EG dodging away from the gank, although Zai walks up to the high ground in a lot of trouble. Arteezy just finds him, can they get the kill in time? The arrow connects and the burrow strike comes through. Zai living, man. Well, on the other side, not looking like it's gonna happen, Arteezy. He needs to get a couple more crits here. Puppy very low, but they kill off the PA again, and mid one lives through it all. The Shockwave pulls back, able to find that one kill, and S4 now throwing out those impetus shots, trying to find a finish for his team. A triple kill for YapzOr, though. Anisha just running away. Needs a couple more, long duration, but he's invis away, and 4 dead for Evil Geniuses.
The kill on the mid one was pretty huge, though. I did not think they were going to get it. But Arteezy getting a couple nice crits there with the help of the Empower. Makes that a 4 for 3. It still favors EG in terms of gold, but the fact that the PA and Ember are going down, they're not going to be farming this whole time. And now a potential kill here on S4.
And he's just dropping all the magical damage in the world, and EG don't have an answer. They're going to take down this tier 1 tower. It feels like the story of this game in a way is Evil Geniuses just needing to hold off. But I'm not sure if they're going to have what it takes.
They do not have wave clear. They don't have spam. When you're this far behind, this is very scary stuff. Sumail's going for drums. He knows he's going to have to go combat build here.
On the other side, we do see the Remnant forward just going to try and...
I think they're only going to get one bounty rune again.
Yeah.
Puppy gets the D ward. They're scared. And the lead grows. The rich get richer.
This is so often the story of these games. Almost 3,000 bounty gold going the way of Secret. You can see 11 bounties there with 750 all that EG's been able to collect at this point in the game. And that's only a portion of the net worth difference between these two teams.
You gotta think losing those big games, the mental toll, maybe leading to mistakes here.
And Arteezy again caught back behind. He's in this freaking tier 2, it feels like. And, well, they are gonna call off the charge, but Secret are just leaving no stone unturned in this quest for pressuring EG. Mid one already having that drums done. S4 looking to make something happen, walking into his own jungle, but does not look like they'll be able to find a pick off. Nisha, maybe a bit far forward, but he is underneath his own team's vision.
He is not worried this game.
Yeah.
A Manta this game is pretty much a BKB when it comes to stuns and control, right? Like, you're going to get like RP'd anyway. Other than that, though, if he can just Manta his way out of the Searing Chains.
Oh my god, look at this. It's 16 minutes in. It's
I don't blame it. It's not wrong, man. And this game is out of control.
The thing that's so crazy about this, too, is if you consider, you know, what PPD was saying during the panel, right? Like this, it felt like she outdrafted them both games. And this one, it just has not gone the way they wanted at all. 9,000 gold lead at 16 minutes. Secret doing everything that they want and a little bit more.
Yeah, lane matchups just going extremely well for Secret, and then the key after that is just make sure you don't make mistakes. Uncharacteristic errors in the first 2 games. This looks more like the Secret that you expect, clinical here, as they're taking EG to school.
And mid one sitting top of the net worth, place he has not been so far this series, it feels like. And on a hero that definitely can make people shudder.
All right, Dota, you got Arteezy now. Off to the Deso, right? That's a long investment, finally coming to fruition. With the power of the Empower. I've seen a couple games like this, you know? The PA, not the hero you want to have to tango with when you're so far ahead. The game feels free, everything seems fine, and suddenly she crits through your heroes and you lose a team fight out of nowhere.
Okay. And that's going to depend upon Crit finding those big initiations. And he's almost towards that Blink Dagger.
Crits on crits on crits, you know?
Yes. With Crit to help.
Perfect.
Arrow comes out, disruption. Going to be fine. That is another nice part of this draft as well, is you've got some pretty decent save. The Atos on Mirana, kind of an interesting adaptation from Yapsor.
Just another thing to worry about for the PA and the Ember, as well as just giving them some tools to play against S4 too. So.
Oh, EG smoked up. What are they going to accomplish with this one? They've got their eyes sort of on Zai, but back towards the mid. Mid one is going to be running through, and well, a little bit of trepidation coming out from EG. This smoke doesn't look like it's going to accomplish that much.
Yeah, and now Secret's still just sitting with the Moonlight Shadows. They got their own pseudo smoke every once in a while if they want to try and play aggressive and flex their lead. Yeah. But currently they're waiting on that Diffusal Blade as mid one finishes it in the mid lane here on that last creep.
And it felt like they were going for that play with the DD on the Ember Spirit, see if they could find a fight. If not, just back out afterwards. Try and wait for those BKBs, which both cores are now queuing up.
And likely the same story for mid one here soon too, right?
Yeah. Throwing out an impetus shot. Causes a little bit of trouble. I like, by the way, how S4 doesn't have the Mortal equipped, because I feel like the rainbows show off a little bit better. This is like, it's a hidey way. You know what I mean?
Tactical.
Exactly.
Are you accusing of pay to lose here?
It's a possibility.
Careful now, Gabe. Keep your job. All cosmetics are amazing and make you play better. Don't forget to get your Sign Trove Carib. Has anyone ever flexed that in the middle of a cast?
I don't think so. You're first,
When
man.
there's a 9K lead, there's only so much you can do.
10-8. As you said, 9K lead. Secret playing this one safe, not needing to go too far forward and get caught out of position, because that's the big thing, right? The Blink Dagger's just now complete for Crit. Do you think that EG try and make a move with that, or do they have to wait for BKBs?
I think they're playing defensively, waiting for BKBs. If there is some sort of aggression from Secret, they'll go for the RP, but maybe they're going to try and at least scout out their jungle here, try and regain some control. Seems to be the movement that they've got going on. They are keeping steady, right? It's been a 9K lead for a while.
Oh, and he breaks the smoke, and they don't get the chains, and mid one just walks away. Oh, God. That one hurts. That one hurts a lot.
And he had that sentry. He knew that sentry was there, too, right?
Yeah.
And now they missed the sentry on the high ground, too.
Secret gonna pick up 3 bounty runes, it looks like. Okay, that's a good one. They pull him back in, trying to find mid one, able to get into the Shadow Dance.
No mana there on Crit. Also, wasn't sure about the Dark Pack, didn't want to go for the RP, so.
Yeah, understandable. So, 20-minute mark.
In the meantime, they're losing control of the lanes. Nisha up top, the rest of the crew in the middle, arrowing the catapult, speeding things up here with the Bloodlust. Hard to push that bottom tier 1 without losing a lot. And Nisha, he wants to put the maximum threat here of the top lane into play.
Force people back. The Ember not wanting to have to deal with this. Does not have, ended up going for the phase boots, not going for any boots of travel early on to try and deal with this pressure. the meantime, Arteezy is going to pressure down the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, get his team a little bit more gold, and get him closer to the
I mean, they even commit a scan, though, and they're still just losing the mid tower. Mid one is poking and prodding. They're going to take at least 600 damage on that tier 3 top. All things going the way of Team Secret as EG continue the path towards BKBs.
Well, and again, you think about what happens when those BKBs do eventually come out. You've got the RP available for your high ground defense with the Blink Dagger done on crit. A lot of ways to try and bait out reactions, with whether it's the sleight of fist into chains or what have you. But it does kind of feel like EG are just going to have to play defense.
I like that Secret are playing very quick, though, right? They're not resting on their laurels at all. They've taken all the tier 2s in the top area. I think a lot of times throughout this group stage, we've seen teams get a similar lead, but not press it this much. They've kind of left that like mid-tier 2. Maybe they take the top one nice and early, but they are really putting the strangle onto EG right now.
Looking maybe to try and keep that pressure on as they take down Roshan. They do have a couple of other items that could get picked up. Still Mjolnir if they wanted to on the...
I think with an Aegis, I like that.
I mean, it might just be worth it just to go. And they're going to go for the Moonlight Shadow play to start it all off. Who can they find? BKB's just now completed for EG.
Both?
At least the PAs.
PA, not the Ember yet, though. But the Ember, a little bit more survival, has an Arcane Rune still, too.
Yeah.
I think he just popped one. Yeah, this guy's getting Arcane Runes everywhere.
Well, S4 showing mid. Does not look like Secret want to jump on him. Maybe anticipating a bait play. Down bottom, Zai is scouting out Arteezy.
They're trying their own bait play down here.
This could be big.
Then he sees the Fresh and Power.
All right, need to be careful. Arteezy just going to jump away. They force out the rotation from Zai, and that looks like it's enough from EG to decide to back out.
Unfortunately for them, Zai has bots. So he's the one who's trying to keep this pressure up and let them play fast.
And look out, S4 gets caught by the arrow. Arteezy going to throw one dagger of his own and now trying to back away.
Double
S4
bracer, medallion,
untouchable.
Dragon Lance.
It's keeping him survivable.
1,620 HP.
It's hard to kill the inch.
18 wand charges. S4 has arrived, but of course his game it's not really an offlaner game.
It's true.
He's a jacked up support at this point. He's behind Yapsor. Okay, now he's ahead. Okay, and then behind, and then ahead.
So back and forth. I will say one thing that's nice about the Ench is getting up to that level 12 does severely increase the amount of damage that you deal with that impetus. But not a whole lot of those sort of right-click attack speed items as of yet for the Ench.
I mean, they got the doubly slippery heroes too, right? And the Weaver and the Slark and the CC is not all there from EG right now. How often have we talked about stuns just winning you some dotes?
So how does Secret actually go high ground, though? It feels like EG have a really good lineup for holding on to it. That Ember Spirit now finishing off the BKB as well.
A lot of it's dependent on Crit, who's now stunned up and arrowed.
Oh, disruption.
Okay.
Fly, saving his buddy for a moment.
He's still stunned.
Out of there, he is done.
Didn't get
30 seconds on Silent Arteezy blows up one. That's Zai. Already did. Can they find any more? Mid one tries to hide away. They have decided to chase, and Yapsor going to die. Puppy off to the side, able to get himself out. So they do manage to win a quick fight there. Signs of life from EG.
A lot of damage there, not just even Arteezy, right? Got through there with S4 and Sumail, everyone putting their weight into it.
And the biggest thing, no BKBs popped.
That is a very good point. So unfortunately, they couldn't quite get the disruption in time as the arrow had connected. That's why he came out so stunned up there on crit, but still happy with his trade, I would think. Especially if it gives him a little bit more breathing room to get that BKB and more.
Now, they go for the Moonlight Shadow again, but all of the team is not quite there. Secret. Oh, mid one, they spot him. He has to know they spot him, and they jump in, they find the catch, trying to get the kill, but mid one able to jump away just barely. Are you kidding me?
He wasn't even worried. I had no ulti or anything. Just going up. He's like, all right, guys, RP's down.
I mean, the thing is, he had to know that they had vision, so that was... I mean, can we call it a bait? I don't know what to call that.
You ask how they go high ground. That's one way to do it.
Absolutely.
Nisha still hit that Aegis.
Oh my God. Yeah. Living life on the edge.
Great.
Flirting with danger.
Great positioning there from Crit. But Secret perhaps considering pushing things up here.
And still 10-second BKBs online for
Aegis,
EG.
a minute left.
Look at those wards.
Yeah, trying everything defensively. Sentries all over the place. Again, a nature of the Moonlight Shadow and the Slark, but once more, GPM talent not there. So hard for a Shadow team. He only has boots, wards, smokes, dust, and then just gold for wards.
Interesting, and well, there is going to be a DD down on the bottom side of the map. That one is being saved for the moment.
Man, Nisha is huge right now.
Yeah.
He's ahead of a Midas Slark.
Nisha has definitely proven the haters wrong here in this one.
Does he have haters? He's a pretty nice guy.
That's true. Uh-oh. Yeah, TZ pops the BKB. Nisha already down low with that Soul Catcher, but he backs out afterwards, and with the BKB popped, Secret's cue to back away.
Now, mid one, he's got haters after the first 2 games. I think his own fans and enemy fans are hating on him. But he's got himself into a butterfly now, so trying to give PA a taste of her own medicine on this one. It's a long while before Arteezy's going to have any sort of an answer to that.
True enough. I mean, if obviously Crit is able to find a big RP or something as that Aegis expires, maybe you can just do it strictly off the cleave damage from the PA, possibly. Did go for the lifesteal talent, but still has Empower. Now, movement out across the map.
They're moving out now, the Aegis is down.
They do spot it. Moonlight Shadow afterwards. There's some sentry wards in the area, so if EG place any, they will get vision. Arrow follow-up, fly there. And testy, tense moment. Top lane,
meanwhile,
what's going on? Yeah. Mid one gets the pounce away and gets some damage onto that tower.
They've got S4 up here too in a bit of a precarious spot, but his teammates will approach and back him up.
Nisha thinking about
mid one and Sumail. Careful now. Yeah, he cannot get pounced.
Yeah, destroys that hero. Puppy in the meantime, the arrow goes in, it's gonna connect, the stun is there afterwards. Nisha thinking about chasing forward, the RP connects, is it good enough target? Zai gets the burrow strike off, will eventually fall, but now Nisha trying to turn on Arteezy, able to get him away. So Nisha not able to make enough space for Zai to escape. EG still holding on, no BKB pop that time.
Zai is a great target, although of course you'd rather have the Slark and the Weaver. You know that he's one of the heroes right now that's currently helping these lanes stay pushed out for the side of Secret and denying you space to try and farm and try and get yourself back into this game. He also sets up a lot of the stuns for the Ogre, sets up stuff for the Mirana too. So Zai, that leading vision to give Nisha an easy time.
Again, it feels like this game, everything for my carries. S4 going for that solar crest.
Arteezy's gonna run in the mid one here. He's got the BKB and the TP.
Leashed. Thinking about chasing. Does have Venom Strike away. Arteezy still chase. They're bringing in the Ogre. And not wanting to give up on this one. The BKB TP mid one just gonna jump through because why not?
He's making the space, you know, trying to make you commit as many resources as possible there. And Fly gonna try and use this opportunity to get some vision down in the top. Sentries, observers, anything to try and create a pick-off moment on that side lane.
And in the meantime, Ember Spirit's been able to build into an INTERCEPTOR. So BKB Ags available, and EG are holding on right now.
It's a scary build though without the 25 talent, right? The earlier the Ags, the less effective it's going to be.
Okay.
Because you don't have that 20 remnant charge restore time. So it's still incredible, of course. It gives you ridiculous range. It gives you good chase potential. If they find this good RP, it's going to be very hard for these hanger-oners of Secret to get away. Probably still possible for someone like Nisha and mid one, but Yapzor, Puppy, Zai could end up being kind of free food here. If they get the initial good start. If the fight starts to look bad for Secret, which is still going to be very difficult to do when they have a 14k lead.
True enough.
Arrow still going for these bounties.
Root there, onto the Ember. Puppy getting caught for the moment. Zai looking for the catch, and they actually hit that arrow onto Mag. Meanwhile, Sumail's going to kill off Puppy, still chasing for more.
Gone again.
Zai is dead. Time lapse back the other way, rooted. He's going to be back, and he might just go down. He's just going to fall. EG pull it back again, and they're looking for more. EG find 3. Mid one's got to run.
That is a great first fight with that INTERCEPTOR. That is the reach that you're talking about there. It gives you a hell of a lot, and we knew it was going to be a dual-core game with these two trying to carry everything, and look at that damage. 7,100 of their 96 coming from the PA and the Ember.
And now moving into Roshan. I mean, these heroes are dead with no buybacks, so they can't contest. This is a huge opening for EG. It was at 92% at like 12 minutes.
Oh, 92%. Can I see this after an Aegis? Are we going to start bringing that back down a little bit perhaps? See Sumail, 12.5k hero damage. Whew, already on the Ember.
So now just a 10,000 net worth lead. But the bigger thing too now is that EG are going to start to claim some of this other gold around the rest of the map. As we see this replay, it was such a spread out fight. And this has got to favor EG.
Yeah, and the spread out, yeah, as you said, it's Zai. He goes in, he thought there's probably going to be more heroes. He also understands how important that crit's going to be, right? Because they know they want that big RP on the mid one or Nisha. Not expecting the damage to come out there, and especially that first hit bash from Arteezy. You're already lucky when you're playing the PA, and rolling the dice results in a victory for him on that one.
Well, Fly definitely feeling the moment right now and feeling like they have the potential to keep this pressure on.
Well, S4 is still managing to find an impact too, right? After a very difficult start on the Ench. 5-3-5, gets that last impetus touch on Nisha, gets him quite a bit to try and find himself into a BKB, much like his buddies.
So how much does this change the complexion of the game now? Getting the Aegis on EG, PA has it. Are you starting to feel like they're making this comeback work? Like,
I think the fights are still very hard, and there's still a pretty large window, I'd say, for Secret, right? You're getting close to 25 talents now for that Weaver, and we still need that big RP for Crit.
Oh, Zai, gotta be careful. Remnant forward, need to be careful. The arrow hit him! But the save, it's coming out from Fly. He's got his buddy there, and they need to get the heck out. 50 seconds, no Sand King.
They didn't jump in on that arrow, didn't see their moment, and I can't blame them, right? Because they don't see Crit. You can't just follow up on Sumail if you can't find that RP.
And it's feeling like one of those moments against Secret. Maybe this pressure getting them a little bit.
It's weird that we have these 10-second BKBs still, right? Like, the one on mid one, too, just like holding on to it, not finding his moment.
Well, one of the problems with this hero, I mean, the Slark is ridiculously farmed, but it feels like his impact in this game has not been up to that level of farm. Maybe it's just by nature of the hero itself, but another tier 2 tower taken, and this game is almost back to even.
They have the Abyssal.
Yeah.
They were not expecting this to come out this early. They don't have an answer to it. The best they have is the Dark back, but
God. And look at the swing back there now, down to 60%.
I think it might go higher.
Yeah.
Because EG, like, one Abyssal into Nisha, he didn't build for this. He has no way to deal with it.
And I mean, you go into like the net worth graph and you just see all of these pips that go back the other direction. Over the past, what's this been? Almost 10 minutes. It's just all been coming up EG, it feels like.
Now, high ground, waiting. Still have this Aegis.
They don't have Slark.
Feels reminiscent of a moment last game with Sumail on the Aegis, and they ended up losing it very quickly after Roche. EG want more this time. Oh, the Abyssal!
Jump in, find the Abyssal Blade to start this one off. Can they get the kill? Zai, he's just dead, and no buyback against 60 seconds.
In a row.
He doesn't have an answer. Jump away from Sumail, turn to fight, try and take down Puppey. Can he bring him down in time? No, but Sumail is going to be the one that cleans up with the stun. They don't have the save. They lose the Ember. Can he run back into this fight, or do they just need to escape? S4 trying to deal what damage he possibly can. Arteezy has the swarm on him. They buy back on the Ember Spirit, and Nisha taking a lot of damage. Mid one also under control, but they have the Shadow Dance to run away. Ember Spirit is showing up though. He's running the long way down.
They don't know how many remnants he has.
The chase.
He's actually running the whole way because he wants to save them, but he didn't pop his BKB. He got caught by the arrow. Excellent play there from Yapsor. But with those buybacks, yeah, he lost 1,600 gold on Sumail, but he's still here, and they're still going to claim your melee racks.
So EG, team to take the first tier 3 tower, and now can clear out the rest of these shrines, try and control the map. I mean, this game is completely turned on its head.
It's hard to believe that Secret are still sitting on that net worth lead here, too. I mean, this is a level 25 Weaver. And he felt like he was so far ahead in this game, and I was just talking about how this Ember was like level 20. He's level 23. He's going to have that final talent. This INTERCEPTOR gets so absurd, and he's going for the Octarine build.
This game, I don't know how to rate it exactly. It feels like it's just been a complete collapse from Team Secret over the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, the going high ground issues strike again. They couldn't find it, didn't have an Aegis to do it, or they weren't able to at least get up there with it with the Weaver. And now hard to believe that it's EG who draw first blood.
again, looking at the win probability right now, just again to strike back how big of a turnaround this has been.
It's still holding that 51%. It's like,
Roughly.
not quite. It's just like, oh no, I'm sure I was right. Oh, it's going back up.
Yeah. Well, 5,000 gold lead still for Team Secret in spite of that. What's the play for them? How do they get their feet back under them in this game?
How much more can Mid1 and Nisha really do? It feels like you got to start looking to the other players. Zai, for sure, is the big one. He needs to find a way to survive. Simple as that. EG, of course, doing a great job of prioritizing, but Zai's going to be the one to get in there and set those big fights for his team. Probably find Fly with the save, and again, targeting crit, I do still think is a big answer, right? Because Nisha, he needs that next defensive item, whether it's going to be the Scotty or it's going to be the Satanic. He needs to choose something and get there so that he can't just be calmed down in an RP or an Abyssal.
Oh, and you can see also the Blink Dagger picked up for Slark, wanting to get into the thick of things, just to see if they can catch somebody out. He has been very efficient with the Midases, made the investment back 1.4 times because of how early he got it. And now we'll see if he can make something happen here with the Slark still holding on to that BKB. 9 seconds on that one.
And Arteezy now finishing out the Satanic. Sumail getting the Octarine. Arteezy now finally he can head towards that MKB if he wants to have an answer to Mid1.
Arrow, there's no follow-up though.
Mid1 also doing the same here. So the race to the MKB versus one another as we wait a minute and a half for the next Roche.
Well, Arrow goes out again. Just get some vision down.
Plus 100 untouchable slow. S4, he's found himself some survivability without gold by getting to that talent.
Of course, BKB making that.
Yes, good for the Slark, but the Weaver's still no answer for it other than his Geminate.
Yeah. And EG, what's the play for them? I guess just wait for that next Roshan. Make sure you have vision around the area. So difficult to play around the Slark, though.
Get 25 on PA, too.
You can see the relative value here of the supports Fly.
13 camp stacks, man.
Dude.
EG have that efficiency on lock. Even, look at all the spent on support items, too. Just keeping the sentries all over the map to try and deal with this Slark.
And those camp stack make all the difference in the world because, again, the story of this game is EG just trying to hold off against the pressure that Secret had, and they got their items because of those stacks.
It's 7 wards destroyed on Fly, too, which is shocking considering Secret are the ones with the Slark.
Yes. Well, Mid1 jumps in, finds the leash. Can they get it in time? Burrow strike through onto Arteezy. RP thinking about it, but they hold on to it for the moment. Mid1 down to very low HP.
That's Zai again.
With Zai. He's out of there. Puppy also in trouble, but they get the catch with the RP. But where's the follow-up? Jump forward, find the kill on a Puppy. Mid1 also in trouble, trying to get out of there, but another round of the Remnants as they chase down the Fishman in the river. You're in my territory now, and the stun, but Mid1 doesn't want to go back in. There's too much potential for damage. He just wants to try and escape, and that's going to be the blink away.
Jeez. Barely gets out of that one. Still another win there for EG. And narrowly losing their Slark, too. That double RP I thought maybe was going to be a sit-up there as Crit tried to keep himself alive with it. But Arteezy not quite there in time for the follow-up.
And you talked about the need for the levels on Sumail, now 25.
This ability is just absurd. I mean, the charge of sword time, just gonna get himself up to 5, and you're not getting away, right? If you start a fight, a Secret, you better finish it.
Now, Arteezy gonna keep this pressure out again. All of the lanes.
Oh, Mid1 going for a courier here.
This would be a nice little pickup for him, but doesn't want to get
how
caught out.
about a big Magnus, too? Keep using that night vision, right? Keeping an eye onto what Crit's up to. Very patient stuff here from Mid1 as he takes the back line. Maybe trying to set a fight.
If he does go on somebody, they have to be able to finish it. Otherwise, essentially, Sumail could run him down. So, Mid1.
Playing so aggressively here. Again, he's abusing that vision. Really good stuff here from Mid1. He has the protection of his ultimate, knowing when things are looking bad for him.
Does need to be careful, though. It just turned daytime. And now he's in no man's land.
He's got a BKB.
Mid1, they have the disruption afterwards if they want to use it. And S4 also chasing him down. Arteezy looking for the follow-up, gets the blink away. But yeah, the turn today, as well as hiding up on the high ground, a little bit scary there for the Slark.
And it looks like they still get 3 bounty runes despite all that scouting out from mid one too. So EG feeling fine about this. They send Arteezy forward in the blur.
He's not afraid. He jumps forward. He gets the Abyssal Blade mid one, gets the BKB off, trying to run. Doesn't have his ulti for another 30 seconds though. And Arteezy throws a dash. He's able to hit it. Chase forward for more. They have a shot from downtown. Tries to find the kill. And Sumail looking for the finish. Another remnant. Damn near to the base. He's looking for more. There's going to be the catch on to Nisha the Weaver. Trying to run away. And they get the buyback from the Slark and now run out of there. Epicenter for Staff. Trying to keep them all survivable. The turnaround. Arteezy almost able to get brought down, but not quite there. Disruption save yet again. They're all super low on EG and they need to run, but Sumail looking to finish this one off possibly as they chase forward for more. They find another kill. Oh! 2 minutes! They did it to him! EG!
I can't believe it!
Secret! And they're making it happen!
The Satanic, it was on cooldown, and he still managed to find that last crit!
Oh, they chase forward, and Evil Genius is now gonna hit the tier 3 towers. They turn forward onto the tier 4.
They're running.
Do you believe in miracles, ladies and gentlemen? EG did it.
Oh, the panel, they better hurry, because that one ended in a flash. EG celebrating in the booth.
Oh, unbelievable. And again, you can't overstate the comeback that they had at around that 20-minute mark. It was so ridiculously high.
And look how much that win means. The family up there as well. The huge size relief, like, oh my God, that was way too close. And they get to bask in the glory of Shanghai. They love EG and they love seeing them win.
Beautiful performance indeed from Evil Geniuses and for Team Secret. Again, it brings up a lot of questions. Still very solid performance in these games, but they're gonna need to pull it together for their run now through the lower bracket.
Yeah, they'll be heading down there, but EG staying in the upper, a well-deserved victory. Stone cold, so chill and relaxed, waiting for those moments. Unbelievable play out of Fly, S4, and Crit. So good at setting up for Arteezy and Sumail, who they had a lot of pressure on this game, there's no doubt, but they played flawlessly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the International, this is Dota 2, it's beautiful. Welcome, and let's get back to the panel.
My goodness, what a series that was. I think you look at game 1, and it was a fantastic game. We saw EG pop off, as the kids say. It was lit. Then we get to game 2. It's kind of the game of wombo combos. Secret's going to be able to come out on top. What's the story of game 3?
Rich, the story of game 3 is the best team in the world finally fucking does it. They were down almost 15,000 gold. No team fight, no nothing. It doesn't even matter, though. They come back, Arteezy on the PA. Let's go.
Oh man, gonna come back onto camera just like they came back in that series. But let's talk about how it was even possible.
For real.
Because we look at how the draft is set up on both sides, right? And you see that Enchantress get locked in nice and early. And this was something, Neil, that you kind of were breaking down for me, why the Enchantress is able to be an early pick right now.
Yeah, Enchantress, you very rarely have to worry about this hero getting countered, because if you do have to counter Enchantress, that means you're leaving a lot of other gaps in your draft. The most obvious solution is you draft a lot of magic damage. We saw the Sand King early on, and it's just, you start going a little tunnel vision on countering one hero, and that's why the hero is so strong right now.
Yeah.
Then you pull in something else like a Phantom Assassin in the background, it just makes it too difficult to deal with.
Well, yeah, I mean, even with that Ogre getting locked in, right, you say, okay, we're going to try to shut down the Enchantress before they can get up to level 2 on an ability that's basically going to mitigate what all the right clicks are going to be able to do, and suddenly Enchantress still creates space, and then PA does get that farm on.
I mean, it really was. There's sort of, both teams sort of had the steroid to buff up their carries, and they sort of come into place at different times. Early on, the Bloodlust is going to sort of enable the Slark to make plays. And Secret, they had all 3 cores pretty much sitting at the top of the net worth for the first 20 minutes of the game. It looked like, oh, well, all lanes have gone Secret's ways. This is going to be a very tough game for EG to really swing themselves back into. But it was just a combination of plays and the ways they could create space for this PA, Arteezy to make the most of the Empower to catch back in, and just Sumail again popping off on the main stage and giving us a ridiculous showing in that Ember Spirit, which at the end of it all, you could see it. He was in the mind of mid one. He was just chasing him, diving in with these remnants, and it was impossible for Secret to deal with.
Yeah, and the fact they were, I think it topped out at what, 17K net worth? And you looked at both sides, right? Neither team had like team fight like we saw in game number 2 at the Enigma and Earthshaker. Like, it was an RP on one side, and then on the other side it was like a Sand King.
Yep.
And these were heroes, the carries in both roles also. It was a Phantom Assassin on one side, a Slark on the other side. Completely marked difference from the teamfight carries of like the Sven in previous games.
It almost felt more like skirmishy, would you say?
Yeah,
when you
it was. I mean, you saw the score, right? I think it was 11-11 at 30 minutes, and that's not very many kills per minute. All it took, though, was and 2 empowered cores in a fight, right? And there's your team fight.
To go back to the beginning, though, it did seem like for a while, you look over on the side of Secret, and they are almost beating EG at their own game. It seemed like they were getting that early farm so convincingly.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were winning all 3 lanes. Z and chat. I can already tell you, Bulba, if he's sitting up in the EG booth, is like, S4, what are you doing? What are you doing? 100%.
I think everyone was right. All the EG fans are going to be like, S4, oh no, he's died once. Oh, he's died twice. Oh no, here we go again.
And he ate a lot of that because, I mean, as you said, it was an Ogre Weaver. They were set to shut down that lane, and eventually it's Enchantress. You get level 4 Untouchable, you get the level 20 talent. No one's hitting her. She's just literally unloading.
Let's actually talk to S4. We can actually talk to S4 right now about how hard it was to actually play in that matchup.
The man himself, that was an incredible match. And I want to start with how you went into mentally game 3 after game 2 went so horribly wrong for you guys.
We actually felt that they were kind of scared in game 2, and we kind of used that to our advantage. And that kind of boosted our confidence because we felt like they're playing a bit scared in game 2. Even though we lost that game, we didn't feel down going into game 3.
Group stage, you had a bit of a rocky start. Did you take any specific lessons from group stage heading into main stage, or did you have any team meetings where it was like, guys, we gotta refocus, we gotta do this?
Yeah, it's been a rough couple of weeks. We've been like, it's been a roller coaster for this team, and it's been like a good roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
It's been going down, up and down, up and down, and finally we got to this moment where we play on TI stage, and we've been really practicing so hard, our team, and it's nice that it's paying off.
Dota is obviously a game, but it can get very personal, as you've seen firsthand over the years. You've had a chance to play for several captains. You're playing for Fly now. You've also played for Puppy, who you just played against. How would you compare their leadership?
I would say they're actually kind of similar.
Really?
Yeah, I respect both of them a lot. I think I'm going to talk about the series a bit. In game 1, we won game 1 kind of convincingly. And then I think Puppy's strength is that he really puts confidence in his whole team. Going into game 2, they kind of just washed game 1 away, and then they went into the game and they won it convincingly, game 2.
Is there a kind of game that you prefer? Do you prefer the team fights, or because it's interesting? Sometimes we get these really long games where it really goes back and forth, and then other times you get the game that we just had, which was just completely different.
Yeah, we used to be like an early game team, EG, and we always like won our early games in the past year, and we did really badly in the later parts of the game. So this is what we've been practicing really hard, and we've been looking at a lot of the Chinese teams, and we have a lot of respect for Vichy Gamings and LGDs, and they have so much confidence in their team fighting, and that's what we're trying to like learn from. And I think LGD and Vichy, they're very strong, and they're gonna win this tournament.
What did you just predict? I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to send it back. Just really quick follow-up question. You're saying that you predict one of those teams will win TI.
It's a comment from Fade into you yesterday. He said LGD is going to win this tournament.
That's right.
Yeah, because he's a fan of LGD.
Yeah.
And he's playing for
So you're going to
Vichy.
hop on board that.
Yes, I'm hopping on board.
Oh, that's very sweet. And very quick, I have to ask about facing OG. Do you feel like this is a little bit of payback time, possibly, for TI8?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just going to have fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it, and then I'll grill you on that later. S4, thank you so much. Right back to you.
Man, it's such a class act, and I think one of the really important things that we do here as well is the idea that you do have Puppy right now, even coming out of a loss, having that potential. He talked about it in the series there in the interview, but Puppy having that ability with his team to wash away some of those losses. But now we are going to take a quick break from all of this action and actually get to look a little bit at all of the films that are currently in the contest. I'm very excited for that. And then once we actually do get to check all of them out, we're going to have a very noted shift in the day. All of a sudden, we're going to be getting into the lower portion of the bracket, and it's going to be those elimination series. It's one of the hard parts of the day to actually see teams get sent home. So far, people have only been sent to the lower side of the bracket. They have not been eliminated yet today, and we're going to be chopping down 2 teams after that. But now we can put our full attention onto all of the fantastic films. We're actually going to get to see who the winner is of the film competition right now on the stage with Dove.
那今天呢，我们看了很多创意动画短片，你们看得还尽兴吗？为什么呢？因为接下来我们就要公布本届 TI9 创意动画短片前3名的获奖作品，让我们一起来看一下第3名。
Divine Rapier. The end.
哇，很精彩！那接下来让我们来期待第2名的获奖作品。
The Aegis of the Immortal. Long ago, it was owned by Larigus the Keeper, who obsessed over its will-bending powers. Until a hungry Smeevil, following the scent of cheese, unwittingly wandered into his secret shop. Though the Smeevil's affection for cheese was great, the wretched creature was no match for the Aegis's power. Cursed by the gods for his crime, he was transformed into a monster, destined to be hunted by those who seek the Aegis. His fate might be sealed, but his thirst for vengeance will not be quenched until all feel the wrath of Roshan!
不一样的风格，一样的精彩。那接下来相信大家一定十分期待，最终获得冠军的到底是谁？我们一起来看一下。 掌声送给所有的获奖作品。那再次恭喜你们，也希望在明年呢，继续能够看到你们的作品和更多作者的作品。那接下来让我们稍微休息一下，一会儿比赛见。
This is going. Oh.
Folks, we have already had such a fantastic look at Dota today, but there is a big change now in what we are going to see. All of a sudden, we are going to be on the lower side of the bracket. We are going to be sending teams home. Toby, you're a lot shorter than I remembered you. This is the first time we've been on the panel together.
I don't. This is the first time I've ever been on a TI panel, and for some reason, I'm feeling a lot less than myself.
You're in Tsunami's chair. It must be cursed.
Something is. There we go. Here we go. I just need a chair replacement. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And now we feel.
There he is.
And you could see there that Toby, even thinking about the weight that is going to be on these games, getting slightly deflated there. He has regained though.
Is this a fat joke? I lost weight, bro. I lost weight.
It was a chair. No, it wasn't.
It wasn't.
That was a nice
wow,
one.
someone's insecure. Anyway,
I'm normally under threat on a panel. That's why.
I just spat on you.
Sin lol. There, perfect.
Okay.
I saw this lineup. I assumed this was going to be the serious panel. I really thought that this was going to be the serious panel because we got the serious matches. First up, it's going to be RNG versus VP. And we look at both of these squads, and RNG, I think this is a team that we know does have some potential upset, has the upset potential. Looking on the side of VP, this is a team that we've seen do it throughout the year, and now all of a sudden they get to TI, and it almost looks like history's repeating itself.
Yeah, the CIS teams always seem to have this problem when they reach TI, something goes wrong, be it internally, be it draft-wise, be it overconfidence, just be it many, many different things that continue to be listed throughout the ages. So, yeah, this is no different. Virtus Pro, at the start of the group stage, they looked absolutely, well, disorganized. And later in the group stages, they looked like they were still disorganized, but their individual plays were starting to increase.
Okay, I think that with all of that, now we need to look at what RNG does have in store. Do they have the potential for an upset? We're going to find out right now. RNG from the region that we call home for this tournament, from this Shanghai arena, we are going to hear the very halls tremble. Do they have the potential to start creating waves in the lower side of the bracket? We've already seen just how much damage that China's been able to do to this bracket, already guaranteeing their place on the final day. And now, fueled by the arena, will they be able to take down a team that's already had a disappointing road? And Trent, when we look at this team right now, with all the factors, all of the gas they have in their tank, first we need to ask what VP can do. Virtus Pro is going to be taking the stage right now in a crowd that has a lot of stock in the Chinese competition here, and you can hear the respect already coming out in the arena. This is going to be a matchup that determines who stays in TI and who goes home. And we were talking about the success that VP obviously has seen throughout the year, a fantastic team, and as Toby did break down, they're a team that has been plagued with having less than optimal TI runs, but we're going to be able to take a look at VP at their home in Russia.
Тебе нравятся наши тиммейты?
Нет, скажи так.
Ну ладно.
Блин, ну это очень странный вопрос.
Привет, ребята, мы в Москве, и сейчас мы покажем вам достопримечательности нашего города. Паш, ты уверен, что ты знаешь, что делаешь?
Нет.
He has no idea where we going.
Если нам к главному входу, то нам туда. Это то, что я рассказываю, это не скучный сад называется. А парк Горького туда, да, пойдем туда. Я не там был, в другом месте. Ты всю жизнь живешь в Москве и не знаешь, куда идти, да?
Паша is very bad guy.
Роджер, либо он делает игру очень легкой, либо он делает ее очень сложной.
Ваня, ну, гонка началась! Да что ж ты нас не предупредил, идиот?
My question to you, you can discuss between each other, how are you going to win the international?
Я думаю, на больших моментах мы стресса не чувствуем. Единственное, пока что место, где мы можем как-то чувствовать себя в дискомфорте, это инт, потому что это все еще неподъемная для нас пока вещь, но мы пытаемся ее покорить.
The International — это особенный турнир. В принципе, я не вижу принципиальной разницы, играешь ты с Secret или с какой-то командой послабее. Ко всем командам мы будем готовиться на 100%.
Все хорошо, все хорошо? Я вообще не боюсь.
Инстаграм качаешься?
Волосы запечать. Блядь! Хватит паниковать, пожалуйста. Успокойтесь.
Last two TIs, VP placed 5th and 6th position. Why do you choke at TI?
Классический вопрос, почему мы всех ебем весь год, я надеюсь, не попадет на камеру. Да, интересно.
Особенно, когда ты провел очень успешный сезон, от тебя ждут действительно топовых результатов, что ты хотя бы в тройку войдешь сильнейших, и это давит.
По-другому, наверное, то, что у нас, нам уже нечего терять на самом-то деле, и мы будем к этому моменту подготавливаться и, в принципе, идти с какой-то легкостью. Сложно сказать почему, но все играют на максимум, а у нас почему-то максимум не выдается. Надеюсь, что-то поменяется.
Как ты там говорил? Видишь, доктор на английском. Feeling good, man.
And you could hear it from them. They don't feel any pressure when they're at some of the biggest tournaments of the year, but the second they get to TI, there is a noted difference. And I think that we've seen that throughout the year. We see them even fall behind sometimes early on in a tournament. They're able to wash that, get forward, and then start winning the games that they need to. And Sin, what is the pressure really like when you get to a stage like this at TI?
I think it really depends how much pressure you put on yourself. And for VP, it seems to be something that they are struggling with that other teams aren't to the same extent. In some ways, maybe you could draw parallels to Secret, who have had great years multiple times going into TI and don't do so well at TI. And maybe it's that pressure of the expectations. You've won majors, you've done great, you're expecting, both for yourself, but also the fans are expecting you're going to go far here. And if you put too much pressure on yourself in the booth, you start overthinking it, a couple of moves, you second-guess yourself. The other teams that are just there playing their best Dota and don't think too much about it, they can beat you in an unfavorable matchup.
I think it's a mental block too, right? The wordage that, or the verbiage that we basically saw in the interview was the idea of it's like, we haven't reached that height yet. It's almost like you basically don't know that it's possible because you haven't achieved it before. So that pressure really does come internally rather than from, you know, all the lights, all of the fans here. So Trent, what do you think is going to happen in this particular series when they're going up against a team like RNG that does have that home field advantage as the added fire?
Yeah, I think as much as they've kind of struggled, I still think they're almost underrated at this point, right? Everyone's just assuming they're going to choke. Everyone's assuming they're going to run into this problem. And RNG is a team who should have that ease, you would think, who shouldn't be feeling all this pressure, but because they're one of these underdog teams, right? That's where that story tends to come from. But they're in Shanghai, so it's kind of a reverse thing where there's this added pressure that typically a team of this caliber might not have.
But that's the 4D chess from VP this year. This year, they're pretending
Just
to
pretending.
be bad. They're pretending to be bad.
Right.
Okay.
I've done that before. Yeah, I totally understand that. Now, before we even started, you said, Rich, I think VP draft is going to be one of the most important things in the series.
It's not just the way they draft, it's who's actually doing the draft for them. Like, before it was always Solo leading them. How many times did he win, like, MVPs and ESL 1s just by, well, just drafting them a far superior lineup that the team could just be really comfortable and flexible with. And now you've got Ramses doing the pick, Solo's actually sitting at the back, with a headset, and there's Ezekiel who's actually sitting in the seat that's taken from Solo. So it really feels like you don't have that same kind of synergy that's happened throughout the year where the guys have just been chilling, laughing, joking inside the box. It's like, what are we going to pick this time around? This seems like really good. I think long are the days gone when you could just turn up to a BTS tournament, pick every single hero, and then still win.
Yep.
I think there's also something else maybe about TI that VP are a bit unfortunate with, if you will, is the meta changes going in. I feel like when we come to TI, teams start playing a little bit safer, but also the patches leading into it sometimes slow the game down a little bit.
Yep.
And VP have been really good at playing aggressively. So if you're the way the Dota year works is that whatever is considered the strongest style has a tendency of getting nerfed. So if VP are winning tournaments early in the year by playing super aggressive, well, their aggressive heroes get weaker and slower heroes get stronger. And when you come to TI, some of your best strategies are just not as good as they used to be.
Yeah, we need to have that all in our mind right now. We've talked about it plenty, but we're ready to jump into the first elimination match of the day. Let's see who will stay in TI.
Versus Game 1.
Thank you, Rich. We're here now, though, to talk a bit more about the picks, the teams, what we have in store for us. Virtus Pro up against RNG, elimination at stake, going with Gunner Purge. We had a TI winner on the draft panel, but now a title he can't claim. I've got an NADCL champion, a Nexon champion. You guys have some championships of your own.
Yeah.
Welcome.
I won something 5 years ago. I'm going to keep bringing it up, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what we're here for. What do you make? What are your first impressions, Purge, with these two teams going head-to-head?
Well, VP obviously underperformed in the group stage a little bit. They barely made winner bracket. Then they got knocked to lower bracket. So I would say I think they still look good, but they don't look like their top form. So I think that's probably better than what RNG is dealing with, in my opinion. So
do you think there's any momentum, though, that RNG coming out of that BO1 win?
I think it could help. I think RNG is a team that has really good highs as well. I just think that their average play is definitely below VP's. So if the average for both these guys shows up, I think VP has the advantage, but you never really know what's going to happen.
Alrighty, a lot of picks coming out very quickly. Gunnar, we're seeing crazy team fight from VP. Tied Enigma first two.
So VP over the whole season, I think, especially at the Dream League major, they would pick a bunch of team fight. They would pick like Tidehunter, Enigma, and they would put the Tidehunter as support, and then Enigma as a support, and then they pick another team fight. So they do tend to go for some early game aggression, but they also like going just 3-4 team fight heroes, which is, like we talked earlier, that's like one of the better things of this tournament. Yep. You get a bunch of team fight, you hold your high ground, and it's kind of secure.
Do you think that's been one of VP's better looks since they did have that kind of struggling group stage?
Yeah, I think when they kind of draft some more team fight and they can play the map better, I think it looks better for them.
Okay. As for Royal Never Go Up, we have first two Alchemists. This is a carry that came in very popular early stages of the group stages. Kind of has fallen off a bit. We're still seeing it here first.
Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty good pick in this case because if VP does end up putting either Enigma or Tide as a 4, it's going to make it a little bit harder for them to pressure the enemy side of the map. They normally sit back, continuously farm while kind of defending towers, but they're not going to be able to get on the opposite side of the map and kill the Alchemist and prevent them from catching up or gaining more gold than anybody else on VP can gain. So I think it's a decent opening. One advantage that VP does have though is that Tidehunter's excellent at stopping like disruption and save abilities because Ravage is such a big AoE that it's almost impossible to either have a BKB on Shadow Demon or for him to disrupt the guy that gets gone on first. So I think that's okay for Royal Never Give Up, and outside of that, SD is just going to be good at all stages.
Do you think it's important they get some kind of Enigma Black Hole cancel, or is just having the save alone from disruption going to be enough?
A lot of teams, what they do is they pick, if they don't really care about it, they'll pick kind of a soft counter, which is like a Rubik. These heroes that is like a Wyvern kind of thing, it's like, it's okay, and they don't really think about a hard counter. I know Keen used to, they would never care about Enigma. This was like 4 or 5 months ago when Enigma was the first pick every game hero. They would pick maybe a Rubik and a Wyvern, and then they call it a day. So I don't think it's necessary that they pick a hard counter to Enigma. They just kind of think about some 1 or 2 maybe heroes.
Yeah, it feels like a hero that is more dependent on how your team plays grouping-wise against it. Like, if you let them give you big black holes, then maybe you need to counter. But a lot of times now it just feels like a hero that's mostly sitting on the backline, kind of waiting to get like an important 3-second channel on a carry pre-BKB or something. So I think it's more going to come down to his role, never give up, not make mistakes. Do they not group up heavily? And ideally, does SD not get caught as well?
So the interesting thing about this Alk and Enigma is they have the same kind of like thought process in the draft. They're both good when the enemy 4 cannot walk into your jungle. So Enigma, so they pick him and they're like, okay, if this is a 4 Enigma, we don't want the enemy supports to walk at our Enigma, so he's a good game. But because of that, that means the Alk is also going to not have a 4 walking into his jungle. So the Alk is kind of playing off this Enigma, giving himself a free early game.
Are you more inclined to run the Enigma as a free position then, so that your 4 can be more active?
You can, or this Tide Hunter, this Ogre even, can maybe just walk at the jungle.
Yeah.
He can't be like pressured. The acid spray doesn't do much. So
this is the first time VP's picked Ogre, I believe, at TI so far. It's a hero they haven't touched, despite it being a very strong hero. So I'm kind of curious, do you guys have any idea why they might be thinking it's worth it now? Just a lane stabilizer, can bully the Alk, that kind of a thing maybe?
And if they're running one of Enigma or Tide as support, I feel like they need a 5 position that's kind of selfless. And in the past, Solo played a lot of Ogre.
Yeah.
That was always one of his heroes. So to me, it's just kind of a non-greedy 5 position. I don't think we're going to see a Midas if it's Solo playing it, but maybe he's the hero that runs in the jungle. Solo likes to go on those kind of deep warding missions.
they might be thinking of picking a ranged hero. I don't know which ranged hero would be really good right now as their carry, but usually when you pick these ranged squishy heroes, you want kind of a tanky, beefy 5 to lane with you, so that they kind of are like a body block between the enemy support and your carry, that they have to walk through your meat shield. But the carry is the meat shield.
It's going to be, Lifestealer as the front liner. One of the more popular carries of this tournament, something Ramsey's well known for playing. And as far as the matchup against Alchemist, is this like the right kind of carry you want to be having when you're up against Alch?
Yeah, it's fairly good up until a point. I think I would like around level 18 to 20, 24 on the Alch. It's fairly good for him. He's really tanky. The Lifestealer actually can't kill him, but I think once the Lifestealer gets the 5-6 slot that we've seen where he has this heart and he has this AC and this Abyssal Blade and he's just this beast on the map, that's when each hit on the Alchemist is healing Lifestealer for a quarter of his health.
Oh, there's another save on RNG here with Abaddon picked up. I think they've run it in a variety of positions. Classically, Lana playing it as a 4 maybe or a 5, but yeah, it'll be great as help keep the Alchemist alive. You can disrupt him, you can also dispel the Spirit Vessel, so it should give them good capabilities to cover either the Lesh or the Alch.
And it feels so good against like the big team fight of Tide Enigma. It's a hero that maybe doesn't care if he gets Black Hold if he's in the front line.
I'm more inclined that they're going to put the Abaddon on the 3. If this Abaddon ever gets an Ags and he pops ult during Black Hole and Ravage, no one's going to die.
Yeah, we've seen a few of the teams from the Chinese team run that 3-position Abaddon at this tournament.
I also think they can tri-lane this out because they want to give him a good early game with the Shadow Demon Lesh support duo. And they just get Disruption into stun with an Acid Spray, and then they can maybe get a kill.
I don't think they're inspired by Sumail to bring back the mid-Lesh rack after that earlier series. Mid-Lesh is looking really strong right now.
It's looking strong, but at the same time, there's a lot of these heroes that are going to jump the Lesh, and his save is not enough, I think.
Okay. What would you say World Never Give Up's lacking with their draft now that they're going to their last pick?
An early game, like, physical damage hero that they can group up around 4. I think maybe Death Prophet could be a good hero for them right now. It kind of gives them this... They have enough save for a Death Prophet, I think, where he can get this Yule's BKB Ags, and he'll just kind of frontline. With the Abaddon and the Lesh, they have a lot of tower push together. It's also really good against Snakes throughout almost every stage of the game.
Do their last spending. I do like having the idea of heroes that can punish some of these long cooldowns. Enigma Tide, something I always talk about is, their ultimates, you're spending 2 minutes of downtime after you maybe won a team fight, you respawn 30, 40, 50 seconds later, and you can punish the fact those spells are down.
I like that the RNG fit the Lesh into the lineup, not just because it's nice to have 2 cores that are frontliners, but also because it gives them a way to take take towers while Alchemist is busy somewhere else. Whereas on the VP side, it's pretty common for Enigma to get a Vlad's or a Helm of the Dominator do the same thing. The Shadow Shaman also going to further that too, with ward drops.
Yeah, so it's going to be a mid-Lesh and a 4 Shadow Shaman. I think this is now not going to incline a defensive tri-lane at the start of the game. I think they're most likely going to put the Shadow Shaman with the Abba, try to give him a few levels, and I think once Abaddon's level 3 probably, they can abandon him the Lifesteer can't harass him with the open wounds. He's always going to be able to shield it off, and then the supports are going to be able to tri-lane this Alchemist.
Yeah, this is a lot of tower push coming out from Royal Never Give Up with the Lesh and the Shaman. So the ability to pressure even while the Alchemist farm is definitely there. Something that VP have to be careful they're not too greedy around some of their heroes now.
I think they need to pick a low cooldown, like kind of flashy hero for their mid laner for Virtus Pro. I think maybe Invoker could be okay. It's a little greedy, but I think he can go the Kloss Wex build. Is really good this game. He gets an Urn. It's really good against the Alchemist as well. It lanes well against the Leshrac, so I think Invoker is probably one of the top picks for Virtus Pro.
I think one downside to their lineup, though, if they go Invoker, is that their long duration stuns are kind of weak. They have like Fire Blast, they have Ravage, they have Black Hole, but outside that, that's pretty much what they're limited to. So it might make it really difficult to get pickoffs, even just small ones.
So do you think maybe something like a Dragon Knight for a little more stun, kind of front lining your towers?
The Dragon Knight could be potentially good. I kind of like the idea. Yeah, sounds okay.
It's also this, Blink Buyer, so your Enigma and your Tidehunter have like an easier way of following you up. The DK can do the actual initiation, and then the other two can just counter initiate.
That helps so much too. I see a lot of teams successful with Tide in that way. The initiator jumps in, stuns the guy, Tide blinks right on top of him to guarantee the stun the outsider guys. It guarantees those easy kills. And they grab a Storm Spirit. It's a VP hero.
Storm Spirit last pick for Virtus Pro, and no one classic. And it's a man who knows VP and the CIS region very well. We're going to hear his final thoughts on the draft before we hop ourselves into it. Here's Dendy.
Hello, everybody. So what we see here is Royal Never Give Up. We have an insane pressure lineup with Rasta Leshrac. We're going to create a snowball thing, move around together, and then we also have a timing hero like Alchemist. He's going to get his fast Radiance at Dagger and then go in, and we're going to see a lot of crazy action right there. What about VP? We're like bears. We need to farm some honey. After we farm some honey, and we have Enigma for late game. So if we deal the game to BKB Enigma, Royal Never Give Up have almost nothing to counter it. They have no cancels. So we're gonna see bears farming some honey to fight, and Royal Never Give Up like a honey badgers move in. So it's gonna be crazy fight. Giving it to handsome casters, Blitz and Kep.
That's right, we've got our handsome casters here, and it's Honey Badgers versus Bears. And honestly, Denny's just amazing. That was a really apt analogy to what we're going to be seeing here in this game, right, Blitz?
Yes, he did it in a way that even you could understand.
That's true. I was sitting here as a play-by-play caster going, I don't know what's going on, but now I know. Honey Badgers versus Bears. Surely in nature, Bears win out, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Toby's like writing notes in the bench. He's like, that makes sense. As we're going to get into a game, it feels like for whatever reason, everyone picks Storm around me.
Yeah.
It's going to happen again.
You know, it's just your good luck charm. What can you say?
It's not, because I think he's going to lose this game later.
Ooh, really? So you're siding with the Honey Badgers here. Is that simply because they have an Alchemist?
I just think it's kind of going to be a little bit rough.
Why? Why is it going to be rough? Is this not the free Storm game? They don't have a ton of stuns, right? They've got one instant disable, which is the Shadow Shaman. What doesn't make it a good Storm game, Blitz?
I feel like his timing is just going to be a little bit rough. Like, I think he is going to miss his timing. Every time he zips in, he's going to have a hard time, because part of what makes Storm easy and fun to play is you can burst the backline support, get in, get out, and suddenly you have a 4-on-5 fight. But I think in a game like this, it's not as easy to do that. When you go in, you're going to go into this Abaddon who you can never burst down to kill. We saw Quakefa's Storm playing against the Leshrac. It's not easy to play against that stun. Shadow Demon and Shaman. Shadow Demon is a surprisingly annoying support to play against for Storm, because he has a hard reset button. If you don't go on Shadow Demon, he's going to get you every single time, or he's going to save his teammate. And then Shaman's there to sort of protect him as well. Like, they have good ways to defend around that.
Virtus Pro, they were sitting on the high ground. RNG, though, marching in force with the 4-man, trying to secure these bounty runes and maybe getting a first blood as Ramses chose to open wounds to try and get a kill, but instead, he may fall. Blast shot from Laden. The second place finisher at TI1 will secure the first blood for RNG.
So I really liked how Dendy put it, though. He was saying one team is going to be very aggressive, the other team's just going to farm up. VP, they have to play around the Enigma more than any other hero. I feel like Roger needs to have a big performance. It's not really going to come down to the Storm's game. If you're no one in a game like this, you're just going to rotate around the map, try to open up the side lanes as much as you possibly can. and that's all you can really do. The game, I think, is not fully in his hands.
I don't think I've ever seen a more value, at least with the new Curse of Avernus, a more value level 1 Curse of Avernus for Flyby there. Got a lot of damage against the Tidehunter. They actually have a 1v1 matchup here while running a defensive tri-lane to try and protect the Alchemist. VP, though, trying to assert some early aggression, running the Lifestealer into the Alch. I'm sure this is all just about trying to shut down Monet's farm, right?
Yeah, if you can